Surprise! Hi! It's Brawl Fan 1 doing Surprise Saturday stream. Because unfortunately Danny couldn't stream, so now I'm streaming. And speaking of Danny, she's here, as well as Brian.
But can they hear us?
OBS is showing that your voice is audible.
Well, double check that, because remember what happened last time?
Well, first off, we need to wait for people to actually show up. So let's see.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. I'm seeing people in the chat. I'm seeing people
I heard you guys.
Okay.
Now let me make sure that this is working properly. Let me refresh this.
Okay.
See if that works.
And I'm about to... And I'm tweeting... Yep, I'm a tweeting out.
Yep, there we go. Okay, looks like everything's working just fine. Alright, so yep. Overdue, once again. We got the next Mistakes and Issues video for the next 10 characters. From characters 71 to 80. And this will be the last Mistakes and Issue stream for a bit because I'm going to wait until characters 89 and 90 are out before I do the next one.
It makes sense, because, yeah, you always do it by tens.
Yeah. But in which case, how's everyone doing today? Let's see. Okay. Alright, before anything else, Danny or Brian, can you guys give me the link in the Discord so I can put that on Twitter? Now that Twitter's actually working for me again.
Yep, okay, I got it.
Cool.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Okay, tweet this out. Live with Mistakes and Issues for What If characters 71 to 80. If you want to give your criticism, ideas, your own criticism, ideas, or questions for these 10 characters, then come on by. I'd love to hear them.
Oh, thank you, Malik, for the $5 donation. He says, I'm doing well, BJ. Just enjoying my birthday and a long week off from work.
Happy birthday!
Yeah, happy birthday, man!
Yes,
Yay!
Thanks for the money on your birthday. What? Thank you, I appreciate that. We got Sped Up, Live and Learn. Why you can hardly swallow. All right. Anyway. All right. So we'll give it a little bit before we get started. I'll let enough people be able to come in, make their way in. Let's see. We got currently 112 viewers. So let's wait for a few more people. Let's wait for a couple more people to get in first before we get started. Especially since the first one we are starting with, if you can see on the screen, is Henry Stickmin, which you know was a big one for a lot of people, considering the rather absurd out of nowhere popularity this character got for requests. So we'll get started once a few more people get in. Gonna need a name for that one, because aren't there lots? Because like you're talking about Rainbow Six Siege, aren't you? I think that game has a lot of characters in it. I know very little about that game personally. The most I know about it is from what little I've watched Lythero play it, because he plays it often. it's like a strategy, like multiplayer first person shooter. Can I do Koopa Troopa for a moveset or for this mistakes? Because I've done a moveset for Koopa Troopa already. But Koopa Troopa, we're not going to be talking about Koopa Troopa until the next mistakes video, or the next mistakes stream, I should say, which won't be for a little bit. How would the Henry Stickmin Kirby hat work out? You'll have to wait and see. Up, and now look at that. Suddenly, now OBS decided to stop letting you guys be heard again.
Oh.
Okay.
At least I know I'm not the only one that's having OBS issues lately.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird because they heard you guys at the beginning of the stream, and then randomly OBS was like, "I'm gonna just turn this off." It's like, why?
Like, is there like another program or something that works like OBS that you can use to stream?
I think XSplit is one, but you gotta pay for that one. Well, I don't know. Let me look at XSplit because I know that's the program that Maximilian dude uses.
Okay.
Let me see here. I'm curious, actually, while we're still waiting for people to come in.
Apparently we missed Caro45 with the 50 donation. I doubt this counts as a mistakes or issue, but how would the Kirby Henry, what would that even look like?
Oh, yeah, I answered that a bit ago.
Oh, okay.
Let me see.
Jackson the Reaper says, for a suggestion, I guess for like future streams, me costumes.
Yeah,
a series of meat costumes. It could be for the characters you've given movesets to, or perhaps new characters.
Well, like just like designing me costumes, because I feel like a big part of that stream would just be the art. Because really, in all due honesty, you can kind of throw a me costume. You can kind of just throw any character into the me costume like situation.
Right. Well, then I think you gotta also decide like not only what the character looks like, but then like gunner, brawler, or sword fighter.
Yeah. Who is Alucard? Boy, you about to learn in a little bit. I actually am a little bit shocked. It's like I did Alucard specifically as a Halloween special, and even though he didn't have as many requests, I still chose to do him because he was the character who I felt was most appropriate for Halloween with the most requests of those kinds of characters. I was actually kind of shocked to see that not a lot of people knew who Alucard was. I figured he's a pretty popular Castlevania character, right?
Did you not watch the show on Netflix? If you haven't, you should. It's good. It's actually legitimately good. So it's like, yeah.
Please, have some class. This isn't a bar fight.
I'm sorry. Maniac is asking, did we see the Josh fight?
I don't know what that is.
Is it the bunch of people just beating each other with the foam noodles? Because if so, then yes, I've seen it.
All right. Well, we got a few more people in here, so I think now's a pretty good time to get started. All right. Okay. So, how we start things off, so just like before, so I want to stick strictly on the characters that we're talking about. If you want to talk about other characters that we haven't talked about in the past, that we've already talked about in the past, we'll save those for the end. We're not talking about characters that are 81 and past until later. We're gonna save those for another time. And if you can, try to keep questions relevant to the characters, if possible. If you do have any other unrelated questions, again, save them to the end. For the most part, I do want to try to stay on topic, because that was a big problem we had with the last stream, was that we kept getting a little too off topic. All right, so starting with Henry Stickmin. So let's see here. Henry should have. Okay, hold on. I gotta make sure that I can actually look at it from this stream.
I mean, Mega Man Andrew says fail showing up on the screen anytime Henry loses a stock. Maybe with some flavor text based on what KO'd Henry.
Oof. Well, that'd move by a little fast though. That'd be funny, but like I feel like they need to make it because I could see it like I could see something like that being like because like I know like whenever you lose a stock, like very briefly like the stock images do appear in front, like you know where everybody is, so that would be funny. Either that'll like put it over his stock icon or something.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't Ellie be Henry's Echo Fighter? That's a really weird one for me because I feel like Ellie really can't do a lot of the things that Henry can do. Plus, honestly, I think just him wearing her wig was kind of just funnier. It was funnier in my eyes, if I'm being perfectly honest. So like, yeah, like in all due honesty, this is a big thing. I don't really think Ellie could work that well as an Echo Fighter. At least not in my personal opinion.
Malik says, "How about the doing fail on spirit matches when you fail?"
Failure.
Get your shield broken.
So here, I'll go ahead and put this up now so people can see it. In my personal opinion, I don't think Ellie works as an Echo Fighter. She'd need her own moveset. There you go. So if you want to see Ellie, you gotta request her. Anyway. Let's see. The Tank Man? I don't think the Tank Man would work. I don't think he's been in any. He's because that's just the Newgrounds mascot, right? Like he's just been in Flash cartoons.
Yeah.
As far as I'm aware of, anyway. Thank you, Thank you, FactBot, for the $5.
That is in fact a fact. Anyway. Let's see. In the final Smash, if you have the Charles costume, Henry should be the one crashing the helicopter. Yeah, that would be a funny little reference. Well, no, because... No, it wouldn't work because, again, you're not actually playing as Charles. You're still playing as Henry. He's just wearing Charles's headset. So it'd still be Charles.
Yeah, they're twins.
Yeah, they just match. That's all it is. The fail could appear if Henry dies during his final Smash. Oof. Why are Henry's down specials all so bad? You know what? Actually, I'm glad you brought that up because this is something I do want to talk about. They're not. So let me go pull up the video real quick because I'm about to lay into everybody here because that was a big thing. Everyone.
Oh, is that a common complaint that you were getting?
That was a common one. Like how everyone thought, why bother using the down special? They're all bad. They're not. Now they do have more bad idea options to choose from, but they're not all bad. So let me quickly pull up the video, and I'm going to go through each of them one by one, and you're all going to listen. You're all going to sit down and pay attention to this class, and we're going to go over the potential options and ideas that each one can go through. But I should also make mention as well to start off with, because I also said in the video, like in the video itself, when you activate a special command, you're always guaranteed at least one good option no matter what. So the down special isn't unusable because you're at least guaranteed to always get a good get a good option for them. And by that logic as well, even though there are technically, yes, less good options than the other specials in terms of variety for the down specials, the fact that there are less options actually makes the down special more consistent. It means you're more likely to get the same general good options. Thank you, Chara. Specials run over with Chicha DJ. Yep. Okay, so let's see here. Let me get to the list. Here we are. Okay, so starting off with the bombs. Down special bombs. The bomb blows up in his hands. Henry does take damage. The explosion is larger than normal. So yes, it does hurt Henry, but it is a large explosion that can hurt other people as well. So
it's like, oh, you're. It's like, so you're running at me. I'm gonna put this bomb in my hand. You're gonna run right into it.
So think of it like this. This option is technically a better version of Roy's fully charged neutral special because you can activate it on a whim. And the explosion is large. Yes, it hurts Henry, but that's all it does is hurt Henry. It doesn't say anything about launching him. It just hurts him. Let's see. Okay, so down special laser. Yes, that one is bad because all it does is make him vulnerable. Because why would you use a laser on yourself? Bad idea. Down special rocket launcher. This is actually the same as the bomb because he shoots the rocket, which turns around and hits himself. He takes a lot of damage, but again, the resulting explosion is larger than normal. So it's something. This is once again something that risk and reward. Something big. Wow, thank you. I hold on. Let me change that hotbar real quick. I'm gonna change it to something else here. Thank you. Yeah, thank you guys for calling that out for me real quick before I continue, because it's like I'm the same like hotkey I'm using for this. I'm using for
scrolling.
Yeah. Up and now it looks like it's broken. Cool.
Great.
Yay, broken.
Look at all the characters scroll by.
All these characters that we're not talking about just yet.
It's something we've already talked about.
Technical difficulties. Gotta love it. Here we go. Hotkeys. So let's do this instead here. So next slide can be this button, and that previous slide can be that button. There we go. That works better. Okay. Anyway, so once again, the rocket launcher down special, same as the bomb. Large explosion that can, hurt Henry, but could also potentially be a good get off me option to get people away from you, because it's a large explosion. Let's see, up special. Let's see, or down special for the parachute. If used in the air, Henry just releases the parachute and slowly floats down. So that's a good one. If used on the ground, the parachute covers up Henry, leaving him vulnerable. So it's bad on the ground, good in the air. The cheese. He eats the food. It heals him. It's a healing item. Yeah, it leaves him vulnerable, but it heals him. Down special, Scooter. He just pulls off a sick trick, which does leave him vulnerable. So technically it's bad, but only if you don't want to see it as a taunt. Because it doesn't hurt him at all. It's just a taunt, effectively what it is. Down special Scooter.
Well, actually, yeah. Well, I mean, in the case, like, if he's just doing, like, a trick with the down special on the ground, you could give it a hitbox.
I suppose. That could be an option. Because literally all I have listed here is that he just pulls off a trick in place. Looks cool, but it leaves Henry vulnerable.
Yeah. Because it's like, you could see, like he does the trick, and the Scooter itself, like, as he's doing the trick, like, has a bit of a hurt bot.
That'd be funny.
Yeah.
I like that idea, actually, yeah. That'd be cool.
Yeah. It's like, it's the equivalent of, like hitting people with Chun-Li's taunt in Street Fighter. It's like, go on, man!
Tricks could hurt nearby foe. Okay, let's see, the Positon Retractor. So, the Bubble Shield. It's a shield, which honestly is one of the better options, because... Oh, thank you, Ray. Requesting for Oliver from Nina Cooney. Gotcha.
Yep, got it.
Yeah, so this is, again, it works like Fox's neutral down special. So, that's another good one. The G Inverter. So let's see. Down special flies straight into a random direction, but can't stop on its own. Can only stop if Henry collides with the stage or another player. Above average power. So this one is definitely very risk and reward. So if you use it willy-nilly, it could very well send Henry to his demise if you're not careful in using it. But foes in his way, could also get hurt if they're in his way when he does so. Down special, Shrink and Grow. Shrinks Henry for 8 seconds. So you could see that as bad depending on whether or not... I guess it mostly is just a bad. Because it's like, yeah, you generally don't want to be shrunk in Smash. So, that one depends. But then, of course, there's the Grow and Shrink, which grows Henry. That's really good. Let's see. Down special Cannon. Crawls into the cannon, but it explodes on him. Henry takes more damage than normal. So this one is just bad. Yeah. Try to avoid this one for down special. Down special Gem. Drops the gem on his foot. Henry takes damage, but is left vulnerable. So, okay. So you know what? Actually, for this one, this probably was actually a mistake on my part, because it's something I probably should have mentioned on this one. This one technically behaves differently in the air. Because if you use this one when you're in the air, it actually does the same thing as it does for the up special and the side special. He falls while holding the gem. So, let me actually update that one then. Gem in air falls and behaves like other specials. And this bit situational, but it could also be seen as good if there's somebody below you. Because imagine the damage you can do if you fall with somebody directly, if you drop this on top of somebody while you're holding onto it.
Yeah. I mean, you've all faced a Wi-Fi Kirby, right?
Yeah. So that is my mistake then. I probably should have written that down. I suppose back then when I was thinking of, like, I guess I thought that was obvious. But that's also my mistake for not writing it down. So my bad on that one. Jetpack. Jetpack explodes. Henry takes damage. So yep, that one's bad. Don't use it. Grapple gun. Shoots himself.
Well, the thing is, again, that could also be another one where you could just add an explosion hitbox.
Yeah, it could. You're right.
Yeah. Because, like, I feel like, yeah, some of these, it's like, you know, you could just simply, like, add a hitbox to, like, have it have, like, some kind of utility, even if it is kind of silly.
Again, this is once again the problem of doing these mistakes in episodes so late compared to when I normally do them. So, like, these are probably less fresh in my mind. But I think the explosion does hurt other players.
Okay.
So, yeah. I think that just is the case here.
Yeah, because, like, I just imagine it's, like, it'd be, like, really funny just watching, like, some players think, like, you know, they got Henry so figured out that he just pulls out some random ace in the hole that the other player, it's like, they should have saw it coming, but they ran into it like a moron.
Yeah. Can you cancel out of the falling with the gem? I guess I don't see why not. That might add more versatility to it. I imagine there would have to be a bit of start lag on it first before he's able to do that, if that were an option. I could see that. I forget, does Henry pause for a moment when he uses a special? Depends on the special, I'd say. Okay, let's see. Grapple gun. Shoots himself in the foot. Henry yeah, another one. Yeah, bad. And also, I had a lot of people asking me, I remember asking me as well, why do so many of these specials involve him hitting his foot? Because it's a down special. That's why. Anyway. So yeah, don't use down special grapple gun.
Irish Enderman. An issue I can see with the special attacks is that you have to memorize what each item for each of the 4 specials, which would give a major advantage against people who don't know what they do. Response to that, hero.
Yeah. A big thing is that yeah, it would more than likely take a while to learn what all these do in cohesion with each special, because effectively, yeah. Because he effectively has 100 different specials, though most of them are pretty repetitive. Like some overlap in their design. But in this case, yeah, most dedicated Henry Stickmin players, I feel like after a bit of practice would fairly quickly figure out what each do, and for the most part would know what to look for. Because again, each special, you're guaranteed at least one purely positive outcome with whenever you activate a special. So it's one of those things where it's that you gotta memorize what each one does, and then kind of like there is a bit of muscle memory that has to go with this one. So for sure, but it's not undoable for sure. In which case, down special for fire, lights himself on fire, then can move around normally, lasts for 7 seconds, takes damage. Oh, that's actually a bit of a typo there. Takes damage slow, but so that should really just say it takes slow but constant damage. That was a bit of a typo on my end there. So there's one typo. But all basic attacks deal slightly more damage. So he gets a buff at the expense of taking damage. So
he's a walking PK fire.
Yeah. So down special fire is good. Down special freeze is bad, but that's also the case for the up special and the side special. The only time you ever want to use freeze is for a neutral special.
Carl with another donation. Endogeo suggested this. Some selects arrows should appear when Henry is shielding and when he dodge rolls, like chat.
Oh, like when you I get you.
And when he dodge rolls, like he selects one like a quick time event.
That's not a bad idea. I like that actually. I kind of super like that. You said Ender Geo said that? I'll write that down. That's not a bad idea. And then, yeah, $5 from FactBot again. Did you know your eye is constantly making tiny movements called... Yep, I actually did know that one. Henry dodges... If I can spell dodge correctly. Yep. Or shields... arrows up here purely for visual flair. Okay, anyway, moving on.
Okay. Oh, actually, Ian Jones actually brings up an interesting question. Will Kirby be able to have access to all of Henry's neutral specials, or
Yes.
is Kirby only going to get one?
No, Kirby has access to all... So Kirby gets access to all 25 items. The difference is Kirby can only use the neutral special variant of them. And they do the exact same thing for what Henry's do when he uses his neutral specials. So yeah, that'll be fun for Kirby. At the very least, though, majority of them are literally just either throwing or shooting. So it actually wouldn't even be that bad of an animation thing. It's literally just an animation of Kirby either tossing or shooting. One of the two. Okay, down special for Thunder. It's just Pikachu's down special. It doesn't even hurt him. It's literally just Pikachu's down special, which is a great move already. So there you go. That's good. Down special Vacuum. The vacuum fails to work, so Henry looks inside to it and his face gets stuck, leaving him vulnerable. So yeah, this one is bad. You don't want to use this one. Down special Shell. Puts the shell on his head for 10 seconds. Henry's horizontal controls are inverted, but he takes reduced knockback, and I spelled knock incorrectly. There's my bad. From all attacks. So that's another give and take. Yeah, your controls are reversed because he can't see where he's going, but you take reduced damage and knockback, so he's heavier, effectively. He has more survivability. So that could be either good or bad, depending on how you want to use it. Down special Energy Drink. Chugs the whole drink. All of Henry's attacks gain 4 times the amount of speed, damage, and knockback. Lasts for 10 seconds, but after it wears off, Henry loses a stock. So again, give and take. It's one he can. So think of this like an install kamikaze. Henry becomes incredibly powerful for 10 seconds, but then dies. So it's an install kamikaze is what this is. So again, give and take. It could be good or bad depending on how well you utilize it.
Apparently, people are noticing you have written down when Henry dodges of shields.
Thank you. Or shield. Okay. Invisibility pill down special. Turns himself invisible for 10 seconds. That's good. That's a good down special. Down special Barrel. Gets trapped inside of the barrel like the Kongs in Donkey Kong Country. Leaves him vulnerable, but you can mash buttons to get out faster. Falls if in the air. So that is a bad. That's a bad one. Swapper down special. Henry can trade places with a random foe without needing to aim the gun, but it has a chance to fail, leaving him vulnerable. So again, give and take. So that is something you're going to notice a lot for these down specials. Because again, down special is self. Because neutral special is always throw or shoot. Side special is charge. Up special is recovery. Down special is him using the item on himself. So logically, some of these items are going to be better than others. But, just like in the Henry Stickmin games, through the power of a joke, some can actually end up being good. But, at the same time, some can end up failing at the same time. So it could be good, could be bad in this case, depending on if it works. Hammer. Hits himself in the head with in the skull with a hammer, takes damage. See, yeah, don't use a hammer on yourself. Why would you do that? And then the down special is teleporter. Yeah, just don't use it. You just die. So, yeah. So it's like, yeah, I don't see it. Yeah, there are some down specials that are blatantly worse than others. But if you look at the other attacks as well, not all of those are great either. So in the end, I find the down special does have a bit more risk, but again, that's because he's using it on himself. But they're not all bad. Like there's a lot. If you know how to use, if you know how to be versatile with them, you should be okay with it. But in which case, that's actually it for the down specials. So.
I'm noticing. I've seen this comment popping up. People are asking, a victories theme for Henry. Just mission complete.
I could see that. Like again, victory themes are something we'll go over later with Brandon. Like it's like at some other point in time. About the energy drink, would he have a heart attack and fall over, then lose his stock? Yeah, he probably would. Like literally just he's just beating people up for 10 seconds and then randomly just grips his chests and falls and then just explodes. Yeah, literally do that. Forget a regular forward shooting laser final smash. How about a big laser from the Top Hat spaceship? I mean, it just referenced lasers, because there's lots of lasers in Henry Stickmin. So it kind of, it mostly just references that there's just lasers in general.
Yeah.
Down specials are 50% most of the time. Well, that's kind of the thing, actually, because so are the up specials and the side specials. Because there are side specials that won't send Henry anywhere, they just fail. There are up specials that'll actually drop Henry instead. Generally, the neutral specials probably are the safest ones to use because he's literally getting that item away from his person, like throwing it away from him. But depending on the item, that could also be beneficial to your opponent too. Literally, in terms of Henry's movesets, it's risk and reward the character. That's just how Henry works. He comes up with these really just asinine, just like big brain schemes that may or may not actually be big brain. Alright. Can Henry use his references as moves, but only when he is fighting specific characters? When Henry can build when fighting Steve, for example? I feel like that'd make him... He's already a very complicated character thanks to his specials alone. I think that'd make him too complicated. Like, because his specials are already so, like, expansive, like, there's so much to them, I think his basic attacks need to be set. Like, he needs to have a set number of basic attacks that don't change. Instead of his government costume, how about a costume based on the wall? Since he already has a government costume. Oh, I think I opted to avoid that one because I think that was a color spectrum thing. Because I think there were already costumes where the hats matched in colors too much. So I opted for the government costume because it's green. Because again, color spectrum. Generally, I want to make sure... if references are a thing, I'll try to include them. But the most important thing that I want to make sure is prominent is the color spectrum. The colors all need to be, like, diverse. This is the arm she's... Yep. I speed up the music in my I speed up the music in my streams now because I'm trying to avoid copyright. Henry's distraction taunt should keep going for as long as you want to while you hold the button down. I don't see why not. I mean, I'd still punch him in the face.
So the right hand man.
Henry Stickmin doesn't have a victory animation involving the big ol' sword? The what? Brian, what was the big ol' sword? I don't remember that one. I don't remember what that is.
Because honestly, it's been a while since I did stream Henry Stickmin. I think that may have been something that just blanked out of my mind.
I don't think losing
Maniac.
a
It's like Maniac. I know you're in the chat. We know you're very knowledgeable on Henry Stickmin. Can you remind us about the sword?
Yeah. And then somebody said that they don't think that the energy drink taking away a stock is a good idea for one stock matches. Hero, Kamikaze, just don't use it. Like, if you pick down special and see the energy drink listed there and only have one stock left, just don't pick it. That's all you gotta do.
Kidding me? I all the time.
Yeah, it's like
No, it's like every time I play Hero, I don't care what it is. I always pick Kamikaze because I regret nothing.
Yeah. Can Henry's distraction dance trip the opponent? No, it's just a taunt. No. An Easter egg infiltrating the airship? Ellie has the same powers as Henry? I don't think so. I really don't. She has, like, her own set of whatever. Like, for the most part, characters kind of are able to kind of do whatever they want in that show in those games for the sake of a joke. But it's like, I feel like Ellie should be doing different things, and to a much less degree than Henry, I should say.
Okay. Yeah, Maniac says the big old sword is a sword that you can find as a sort of side quest in infiltrating the airship. It's not really usable though. It's basically a secret ending that gets you an achievement.
Okay, yeah, I remember that because I remember you walked me through that, Maniac.
Okay, well.
Well, I mean, if it does nothing, then what's the point of adding it? You know.
Reference should be the taunt or the yeah, like saying it should be a taunt or victory. I'm not saying it couldn't. I guess it's just the case as well that difference of opinion here, I suppose. Henry's down special should be the right hand man comes out with lasers. I don't think so. I don't agree with that one myself. Does Henry will just be affected by gravity if he's trying to choose an option up off stage, or to choose an? You may have to reword that one, but I think he's asking regarding the G inverter. Let me go back to that one. Let's see, what was that? So the thing is with the G inverter, so like. The thing that I described for it as the down special, because the G inverter overall, it just sends Henry into a random direction and he can't stop on his own. The thing is, now with the down special, he goes into a random direction. For side special, he goes straight forwards into the direction he was facing, and up special, he just goes straight up. But again, he can't stop on his own. He has to collide with either the stage or another player first. Because otherwise, if there's nothing in his way, he will just fly straight into the blast zone.
Okay, so Mr. Maniac wanted me to send you this. This is the big old sword.
Oh, I do remember that. Oh, well, whatever. It's like, clearly it wasn't memorable enough to me to want to make it a taunt or a victory animation.
Alright, I guess in that case, is there anything else with Henry that we can talk about before we move on to Crono?
G inverter seems bad because of that. It could be bad. Again, situational, but think of it as a neutral special, because if you throw it at a player, they're not the same thing happens to them, but they go at a fixed distance. They don't stop. They do stop after a bit. But the G-Inverter as a projectile can be really good. It's much more dangerous to use as for the other specials, but for our neutral special, it's really good. Like, it is a bit more... Can I put it on screen? Well, I don't sorry, I don't feel like setting that up because we're almost done here. I think we're almost done with Henry. Henry's stage intro should be him flying on stage when he was a cyborg. No, I don't think so. He was a cyborg in just one time. And I guess speaking of which, there were people that kept asking me why I didn't make the cyborg a costume, because you wouldn't be able to see it. Like, I think literally the only things that change on Henry when he's a cyborg is like a couple of his arms and like his hands and feet turn gray, and like his body gains like this silver tint. But in Smash, that would be really hard. That would still be really hard to tell apart from his default costume. So that's why I opted. All of his costumes, he needs to have something on his head, so that way you can tell them apart very easily. Because he does have he has a thin body, so he needs a hat is what he needs. And the cyborg didn't have any hats. Does Henry's Lightning have a bigger hitbox than Pikachu, since Henry's a bigger... I guess technically, yeah, it would, because Henry's would be taller than Pikachu, so I think technically Henry's version of Thunder would be stronger than Pikachu's, I guess. Can Henry randomly trip? Only in Brawl.
Yeah.
When he decides on a special, does he pause for a moment and think about the move? Like, is he immediately affected by gravity? Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Like when you're trying to when you're selecting the special, yeah, it would work like Hero. Like, you are still affected by gravity while selecting. So, yeah, in that case, I can see people at first having issues with the up special, but for the most part, most up specials do their job and send him upwards. But but again, it becomes a muscle memory thing at that point. Like, once you begin to learn what each of the items do, and then when you want to recover, it becomes a point of quickly choose what what's the best way to describe this? It's like I do personally feel like once you get the hang of it, most people wouldn't really have an issue with being able to pick one. Difficult, but I would say difficult at first, because again, once you get used to it, it shouldn't be a problem after a while. But at the same time too, like, as I brought up before, Henry is still a very risk and reward kind of character. And even then, it doesn't matter how bad you think that idea is for up specials, or like having to first choose your up special before you can use it, and then like his recovery would still be better than Little Max. I mean, that's about all I can say to that.
Little Max, like, why am I the punching bag all the time? I hate it.
I love Little Mac. Boy is literally an underdog.
Yeah.
And that's why people hate him, because he's the underdog. It's just, but just like Little Mac though, he may be hard for a lot of people to use, but if you can master him, dude, he's a threat. And I feel like and that kind of just goes for any character though. I feel that's not like Little Mac exclusive. It's one of those things where it's like if you're dedicated to a character enough to learn them and main them, all of these issues that you think the character would have, they'd sort themselves out. Like they'd become a non-issue eventually, I feel. Can Henry specials fail 10% of the time? No, if you choose an item that works, it will always work. It will always work. The only time a special will fail is if you use an item in a bad spot to the special. All right, so in that case, do we have anything else to talk about for Henry Stickmin before we move on? Henry Stickmin has a cyborg helmet helmet and a blue visor, the outer space. Yeah, that's a costume. I made that a costume. But he's not a cyborg when he wears that. It's just like an outfit that he wears.
Yeah, I think at this point, I think we're ready to move on to Crono.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to Crono then. Oh, right. There we go. Okay, so issues, questions, or criticisms for Crono. And no, asking who Crono is doesn't count.
That makes me sad.
I did make you sad too.
Like, more you people need to play Chrono Trigger. It's a really good game. It's one of the... There's a reason why it's widely regarded as one of the best RPGs out there.
Why does Crono look like Hero? Because they were drawn by the same guy. Same art,
Yeah.
same art director.
Yeah, Akira Toriyama.
Yep.
Yeah, he's the character designer for both.
Nope. Chrono down B for... Oh, that's right. Yeah, Sephiroth, Pyra, and Mithra. Yeah. Yeah, Sephiroth I'd see as dark, Pyra's fire, Mithra light. Yeah, makes perfect sense, honestly. Why is Chrono's hair red? He was born that way? Seriously, people. Honestly, yeah, if there's one thing I can't say, play this game. Like, it's on Super Nintendo. There was a really good DS remake as well. But if you can't play it, I recommend Chugga Conroy did a full Let's Play of the game, and he does it really good justice.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you don't watch Chugga Conroy too, Game Grumps started playing it. They haven't finished it yet, but Aaron gushes about that game too. So like, it's a fantastic game. Like, you guys gotta play this game.
Yeah, Ian John says, I thought Luminaire was gonna be Chrono's final smash.
That was actually my initial thought too about it. But I did much prefer the triple tech idea. Because techs are such an important part of Chrono Trigger overall. Like especially the dual and triple techs. And I'm happy with how I was able to incorporate the idea of dual techs with his down special. The triple techs, though, I felt like that was best as a final smash. And Luminaire was probably better off as just a standalone special. What console is Chrono Trigger on? It was originally on Super Nintendo, so SNES, but it's also on Nintendo DS. Though, if you have a hard time being able to play either console, you should, I guess, just emulate it at that point. if you're fine with emulation, because there's probably no other way to play it otherwise.
Well, I think, once upon a time, you could get it on PlayStation 3 because it was available on the PlayStation Store, because there was an update. Because, yes, it started on SNES. It did get a port for the PlayStation 1, which was how I played it. So, granted, that was after I played its sequel, Chrono Cross. For the love of God, do not play Cross before you play Trigger. Do not make that same mistake I made.
It's like the equivalent of me playing Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of the Patriots first. It's like, oh no.
What about the PC version? I don't know. I haven't heard anything about the PC version. Like, at least nothing bad about it.
I didn't know there was one.
I wouldn't be surprised.
But, however you can find a way to play it, I honestly do recommend going to go play it. You will not regret it. It's a fun time. And like Danny and I we were just talking about this like before the stream. Actually, it's one of the few stories that does the that has a time travel plot and does it right. Like,
most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because again, it's damn near impossible to get the perfect time travel story, because there's always some kind of a hiccup or something that somebody is gonna find. But ultimately, I think what it boils down to is whatever hiccups that you do show up in a time travel story, how greatly does that hiccup affect the overall story, the overall theming and stuff? And it's like, if it's very minimal, I consider that a success. So Chrono Trigger is a big one. Chrono Trigger, Ocarina of Time, those are, to me, those are some pretty good examples of how to do a time travel gimmick in a video game. Then you look at like Sonic 06 that put time travel in its story, and it just falls apart.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Also, according to Matt MC, it is on Steam apparently. So okay. So Steam. There you go. That's probably the most accessible way then.
Okay. I'm seeing some people are saying, how about having Lavos for the final Smash?
I don't think I could see it. I just prefer the triple stick idea way more because that's way more integral to the game.
Well, not only that, I just think also the fact that the entire point of Chrono Trigger is to prevent the rise of Lavos. So why would Lavos show up in the final Smash to help Chrono? that's my takeaway from it.
I guess counterpoint. I did have Shantae's final Smash have Risky Boots appear, but the entire joke of that final Smash... interesting thing about Chrono Trigger was that Ayla was pregnant the whole time. Also, yes, everyone, please play the game. Yeah, I guess Ayla was pregnant the entire time, wasn't she? But regardless,
Ayla's just badass.
Yeah.
So.
Anyway, yeah, the joke of Shantae's final Smash though, is that Risky's attacking and she's trying to stop Risky, and the other fighters are just the collateral damage. That said, and I do fully admit this, now that Seven Sirens is out, and I did see like those new forms that Shantae got, if I made the Shantae movesets after that game came out, I probably would have used one of those as the final Smash, like wholeheartedly admitting. But that'll be something we save for another time. In which case, regarding the Crono moveset itself, is there anything else?
Where's Goku?
Let's see. No, I think we're good.
Maniac has sent, since both of Chrono's forward smashes uses all the party members other than Luca, what if Luca showed up for the activation window?
That'd be an interesting visual flair. Like she was the one with the time key. I guess it's. I guess for the most part, it's just what's the word I'm looking for here? I guess overall it doesn't matter. Because the whole idea is that Crono is that the time key is used, which opens up the time gate, which if players touch the time gate, they're pulled in. I hope I'm remembering that correctly, but regardless, yeah, so it doesn't really matter who activates the time gate, I suppose. Because I know the key was Luca's invention, regardless, though. Alright, I guess we're good on Crono then, so no major issues with Crono. Alright, so then, moving on, Alucard. Another one that not a lot of people seem to know, and that makes me really depressed, knowing that not a lot of people know who this is. How? How do you not know who Alucard is? Come on. Have
you played Symphony of the Night?
He's only the most popular character from Castlevania.
Yeah, let alone
drives me to
Symphony of the
drink.
Night. But let alone Symphony of the Night like widely regarded as like one of the best, if not the best Castlevania game?
Yeah, Symphony of the Night is literally where the term Metroidvania comes from. Because of Symphony of the Night specifically. Like... You just realized that Alucard is Dracula backwards? Yep. That it is. Because he is the son of Dracula.
Yep.
And yeah, Alucard currently is in Smash Ultimate as an assist trophy. Didn't even know what Castlevania was until Smash Ultimate. I guess I'm trying to think. I guess if you're younger, then that's probably fair.
Well, and to be fair, Castlevania, like, wasn't Castlevania a Konami IP?
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah. We know Konami kind of abandoned the video game market, so that's really, it's like the closest thing we have to Castlevania nowadays is Bloodstained.
Yes.
I mean, again, because Castlevania, aside from the Netflix show, yeah, it really hasn't had much of anything going on for it in recent years. So if you are younger, I wouldn't be that surprised if you don't know what Castlevania is, so I can get that at least. But like, if you're closer to like my age, you don't got an excuse. Like,
Yeah.
Who is my favorite Castlevania character? Honestly, probably just Alucard. I really like Alucard.
But Trevor, though.
Trevor's fun.
True.
But he's not Alucard.
It's like, please, this isn't have some class. This isn't a bar fight.
Oh god, that seriously, the Castlevania anime on Netflix is actually really good. The last season was just okay, but I'm willing to hold out that it'll lead somewhere. We just gotta wait for season 4 to come out.
Yeah.
But seasons 1 and 2 are a lot of fun.
Alucard should be hydrophobic. I don't think he does. Like, I know he can't swim in platformers, but that's also not an uncommon thing in the platformer style of games. Plus, he does get equipment that lets him be able to breathe underwater and technically swim. So I don't think Alucard needs to be hydrophobic.
Maniac asks, "What is a man?"
Do I think Alucard will be playable in the next playable character in the next game? I don't think anything on that front. That would require me to think. I also just realized how far away my mic is. I hope you guys have you guys been able to hear me this whole time? I haven't been quiet, have I?
Loud and clear.
Like, it just occurred to me that my microphone has been like a million miles away from me.
No, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. All right. So, in terms of the Alucard movesets, were there any issues with it?
Roderick says Mistform should be affected by wind boxes.
Logically, I guess that would make sense.
Master Mark says he should have no reflection when on the Wii Fit stage.
That would be funny, actually.
That's actually good. I'd write that down. That's a good one.
That'd be funny. That'd be a funny thing to do yourself.
Okay, so that's Master Mark. That was Master Mark's for that suggestion.
That would be pretty funny. If not disorienting, I imagine, but...
And Maniac says, and no reflection on Fountain of Dreams.
Yeah, just in general stages with mirrors, or mirror-like things, like puddles or whatever. That would be a fun attention to detail, because I...
Apparently Karo says a fun fact, in the Wii Fit stage, because the Wii Fit stage is just a giant mirror, apparently the Alucard assist trophy cannot appear specifically on that stage because of the mirror.
Interesting. Huh. Well then.
Yeah, interesting.
I didn't know that.
Oh, now we do.
Okay, so I guess anything else then?
Nope, I think they're just trying to explain, about the whole vampires not having reflections thing. Okay.
Wait, hold on. Joel, is that what it is? Is that why you can't see vampire reflections? It's because of the silver in mirrors? So then you can't see the reflections in water.
Yeah, but that's just common vampire lore in general. Like, usually a dead giveaway for classic vampires is that they have no reflections in mirrors.
Yeah. I didn't know it had to do with silver, though. That's interesting.
Classic vampire lore.
His spells should do more damage if he activate them the same way as... Oh, if he did the, if you do the really hard to do input commands. That'd be a fun attention to detail, actually. I kind of like that. Kirby inhales Jotaro. I'll write that down. That'd be a fun... Because, again, it wouldn't mean anything, because you can still activate them normally, but if you can actually do the really hard to do input command, then sure.
Zalber7 asks, would his fire have the fire attributes? Like Richter's has aura?
Oh, like for the holy water? Good question, actually, because his fire is green. His fire is green. I don't know, actually. I guess either way. Like, what does it matter? It's like, oh, I can hurt Pikmin. Red Pikmin. Okay. All right. Anything else for Alucard then?
Amazing Toaster says Alucard's up special should come out at an upwards arc, like in Symphony of the Night.
At an up. What do you mean? What do you mean an upwards arc? What do you talking about?
Alucard's up special should come out at an upwards arc.
Yeah, the mist form. But I don't know what he means by upwards. Like that it just goes up. I mean, it would just go up if you continue holding it up. Like I don't fully understand what you mean by that.
Okay. Why isn't the wolf transformation an attack?
I couldn't fit it. Nowhere to really fit it. Like, I know some people brought up the idea where for the side special, he goes wolf if on the ground and bat if in the air. Personally, I would rather him just be the bat no matter what. So yeah, I just couldn't fit it anywhere. That's all. And I wasn't gonna try to force it in there just for the sake of having it.
Okay.
Oh, you meant his down special for the holy water? That it goes in an arc? It could, I suppose. I guess it just depends. Wolf transformation should be his throws? Why? I don't think the wolf does anything with throws. What does Kirby inhales Jotaro mean?
That's the user who suggested that. Just like how Master Marks, he was the one that suggested the whole playing off the whole no reflection on stages with mirrors. So yeah.
That's the guy's username.
Yeah. So Beach is just acknowledging, oh hey, this is a cool idea from this user, and the user just happens to be named Kirby inhales Jotaro.
Wolf could be a dash attack. What did I have for his original dash? I keep forgetting to pull up the original master list here. Hold on. Alucard.
I can just hear Kirby's aura rush from here.
Oh god, it'd be so adorable.
Nah, again, I feel like having the wolf in with what I have would be kind of forcing it in. I prefer just a stabbing thrust, like the Claymore critical art. I prefer that, honestly. Who is my favorite Belmont? Probably Richter.
Richter.
Everybody likes Richter.
Holy water.
Holy water.
Holy water.
It's that New York coming out of us. Holy water.
Yep. That's how it'll be.
God, BJ, get rid of that accent.
Okay. Looks like for the most part, I don't think anybody really has anything else to add for Alucard, so we can move on to the next, was it Soldier?
Yep. I guess we can go ahead and move on to Soldier then. Alright, the Soldier. Alright, so yeah, the episode in respects to Rick May. So yeah, if you guys want,
rest in peace.
Yeah, if you guys want to give your respects, go ahead and do so. But for the most part,
Yeah, there's my respect.
yeah,
Yeah, it's like, oh, 07, that's a salute.
yeah, and then Maniac. Yeah, thank you for helping me with the ending part for Rick May's little tribute there. But before we start with Soldier, because Soldier I know had some big ones. A big one that I know a lot of people kind of freaked out about that I didn't include was the Market Gardener. Like this community-made shovel that was designed to do more damage to characters in the air. So people were like, why didn't you have the Market Gardener as an aerial of some kind? I didn't want to include it. Simple as that. Call me limiting. Generally, I prefer to have characters with a somewhat limited amount of weapons, if they do have a lot of weapons. And when I do give them weapons, I want them to usually have their defaults. So in this case, the soldier's main shovel, the one he always starts off with, is his default. That's the one I wanted him to have, and I didn't want him to have any other shovel. So yeah, simply put, why didn't I include the Market Gardener? Because I just didn't want it. Simple as that. I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I'm just saying for this moveset, I didn't want it. And like generally, I would usually prefer to avoid the community-made stuff. I know the disciplinary action, the whip, is a community-made item, but I was willing to kind of let that one skim by because it was a unique weapon.
I see New York Sir says his Tombstone Final Smash should have a chance that the tombstone should say, "Rest in peace, Rick May," and the soldier would say, "You will be sorely missed."
I feel like that would be a little meta, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a final smash. It was a victory animation. Or was it a victory or taunt? Let me double check that. Yeah, it was a victory animation. But no, I feel like that'd be pushing it a little far. You don't understand what I'm doing? These are mistakes and issues where pretty much we go over past movesets that I made that I've made, and you guys tell me any issues that you may have had with them. Give me criticism. Share your own ideas. Or just if there's something about the moveset you didn't understand, you can ask.
Maniac says, I will say the community-made items are not considered too much as fan-made. They are now officially in the game and officially accepted by Valve.
Okay, well, regardless, going back to the Market Gardener then, I don't care for the idea of, I guess it is kind of just base by base. But I just didn't care for the idea of giving the soldier more than one kind of shovel. I'd rather him just have one of each weapon, and that's it. Or one of each weapon that I'm willing to give him anyway.
Okay. Oh, by the way, people are asking, do you now know who Sun Tzu is?
So yeah, okay, let me explain that one. So, before I made that video, I did not understand. I legitimately thought when Soldier was like talking to like the decapitated heads of those people, and he said, when he said Sun Tzu said that, I thought he said sons who said that, because based on his dialect, it sounded like he was asking a question, and on top of that, he's crazy. He's sitting there talking to decapitated heads. So I was sitting here thinking that he imagined that somebody said something. So like, I did not. So that was my bad on that sense. That was a mistake on my part. So I thought. So here, for the intro, when Soldier says, Sun Tzu said that, I thought he said sons who said that. So that was just literally just me misinterpreting what he said. And that's what I'm at least grateful for, is the fact that despite that it was an error on my part, misinterpreting what he said and trying to turn it into a joke, people at least still got it. Like I didn't like, because most people really just kind of made the joke about Sun Tzu and all that stuff, but I didn't have a single comment of someone saying, of someone's asking like, why did you say that? Like I don't get it. Like they were always immediately like, oh, because it sounds like he's saying Sun Tzu said that. So yeah, one nitpick for Soldier in the TF2 canon, there really isn't multiple of the classes, so the final smash with a lot of soldiers is kind of eh. I'd say either the Bomb Cart, Bread Monster, or Mirror Smash. So fun fact, actually, Maniac, I was originally going to have the Bomb Cart actually as his final smash, but I ended up changing it to the Stampede of Soldiers. Because I think I ended up liking that more. Mostly because, I know in canon, yeah, there really aren't more than one of each class. But I guess in terms of the theming, as well as the joke of what the soldier is. Because I guess, like, the way I pictured it, when I think of soldiers, you don't think of just one guy. You think of, like, an army. So that was kind of what I was going for with that one. Like an army of soldiers.
Wrong, but weren't there like I'm trying to think, in like the Meet the videos, like haven't they shown that there's multiples of these characters?
Well, yeah, because
the red guys are considered like, I guess the official canon team, like, yeah, these are the TF2 guys, but usually like the multiples, aren't they the blue guys?
Yeah, for the most part, because like even in the Meet the Medic video, we see an army of soldiers, like a bunch of It's like the same guy over and over again, with all wearing different hats. So
okay.
So that one's really just up to taste, honestly.
I know. I think somebody suggested his star KO should be "I teleported bread."
I teleported bread.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw somebody was wondering if maybe for like a victory animation, can he play with like a tiny mutant bread? I think people, they just want a reference to that actual animation, because it's a great animation.
Who said the one for the star KO? Because I think I prefer that one. I didn't really care for the idea of bringing it up for like a taunt or victory animation, but I think it'd be funny as like a little star KO, kind of like Pit. I never learned how to read. So who suggested that for the star KO? Because I really like that one.
Oh, I didn't get that one. Hang on. Where?
Dang, did we lose it? Who was it?
Yeah,
Oh,
I think I might have lost it.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Jamie Ideal, was it? Maniac says Jamie, I do. Or was he just replying to somebody else? Who said that? I want to credit you. Let me credit you.
Who said that?
Speak up. Sun Tzu said that. I'm mad that it worked. Speak up. Let me credit you. That was a good idea.
We want to credit our people's ideas.
Michael Bean. Oh, Sickmaster. What's up? Was it Michael Bean that said that?
And it's like that's where I'm going. I'm trying to find it in the chat.
It was Michael Bean. Okay, cool. I can credit you properly now.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, it is Michael Bean. Yeah, start KO. I teleported Brett.
Well, I guess as a possible little cameo. Because he won't say it all the time. Because, like, even, like, Pitt. Like, Pitt doesn't always yell, wow, okay, image thing, why are you doing this to me? Because, like, even, like, Pitt doesn't always scream, I never learned how to read. So it can be, like, a fun little cameo, like, sometimes he'll yell it, like, on a rare occasion. Like, even, like, actually, Pyra and Mithra both actually do have rare but unique, KO dialogues. Like, Pyra sometimes will just yell, I'm sorry! And Mithra will just go, seriously? Like... Alrighty, so, I guess, is there anything else on the soldier?
Pyro Dolphin says, soldiers down air should use the man-treads instead of gunboats, since the man-tread's main ability is literally a Goomba stomp.
I can get the connection. At the same time, though, when I said that he stomps his gunboats into your head, I wasn't really actually that concerned about what shoes he was wearing. I was more concerned about the fact that he's literally trying to cave your skull in with his foot. Like... So if like, cause like I think the idea of like his shoes changing, so kind of like just for one attack is kind of stretching it a little bit, like in my opinion. If you want that to be the reference, then sure. At the same time though, because even then it's like, cause like I know I referenced the gun boots multiple times in the video, but I don't think the gun boots would even actually be shown on the model. Just the effects of the gun boots would be there. So I guess you could say the effects of the man-treads could also be present just in his normal boots. So there you go.
I see Stickmaster 500. Soldier, I think, should have his up smash be the equalizer, where it will deal a lot of damage and has a small chance of killing you, like in TF2, which in that case would deal heroes kamikaze damage.
Wait, repeat that?
Oh.
His up smash should be the equalizer, where it deals a lot of damage and has a small chance of killing. The equalizer. Let me double check something here.
I think that was the pickaxe.
Yeah. So that's actually the thing. I went with the escape plan above the equalizer because the equalizer's covered in blood. That's why I didn't want to use it. So, like, I guess it could very well just be a case where, like, he could have just cleaned it. Like, it could just be a pickaxe called the equalizer, just not covered in blood for the sake of censorship. Again, I think this is kind of just a case where it doesn't fully matter. Though I guess also, to be fair, I did base the smash attacks on the escape plan as well. So I guess there is that.
Cooper Animates says, I think either one of his taunts or victory animations, he shouts out screaming eagles.
Which taunts did he yell? Because that's the interesting thing. Each merc do sometimes... Each merc don't just say only one thing for their taunts. They do have kind of a small pool of things that they'll say.
Actually, I don't even know if that's a taunt. That might just be a domination quote.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah, one of the thousands of domination quotes the character had.
Oh, there is a censored version of the Equalizer? Okay, well, there we go. That could work. That could work then. Yeah, and you know what, actually, thinking about it now, too, because it's like, without spoiling too much, there is a move set that I'm working on currently that's going to be coming up here in a while, like probably a few weeks, where there are some elements of it that do include blood, but for the sake of the move set, I'm going to include the subjects in question, just not with the blood parts. So I know I plan to make a point about that. So I suppose the same point could have been made for the Soldier's Equalizer as well. So that's fair. I can accept that.
Can he just pummel the fighter with his shovel?
Can he pummel like like the pummel with his grab?
Yeah.
I think I opted for the headbutt because he grabs with both of his hands. So he wouldn't have a free hand for the shovel, because he's grabbing.
You know, might as well use the hard half or something.
He grabs people by the collar. Like for a victory animation, mainly with heavy, since we're talking about TF2, it should be the ending shot of them making all their poses. I actually have seen that, for quite a bit. And I actually have seen that idea for quite a bit of people, and not even just suggested to me specifically, just in general that people post on like on Twitter and the such. It's not a bad idea, I suppose. Like, I feel like though an idea like that could only work if there was only one Merc playable. Like, when I make these movesets, I do make them with with at least the thought that I could possibly make other characters from the same series, not just the one. I see that victory animation. It's because it's a great idea. I see it, but I could only see it working if only one Merc was playable. Little Mac grabs with both hands, but he pummels my punch. Yeah, Little Mac does, but Little Mac does like this thing where he grabs and then reels his arm back and then punches again. For Soldier, it'd look a little more awkward, because he has to put his shovel away to grab, and then to be able to pummel, it'd have to look something like this. Like, he'd have to pull his shovel back out, slap, put it back, and then grab again. At least with Little Mac, it could literally just be this. Whereas, it's a bit more awkward for the Soldier. Plus, in my opinion, I think Soldier headbutting with that hard helmet of his fits him a little more. Especially when he's that close and personal.
Let me see.
What's up?
Does anybody else have anything? That's why I'm looking. I'm waiting. I'm just seeing. Does anybody have anything else for Soldier? Can we move on to Goomba? Right. Ray's saying that the song is looping in the background.
Should be. Or is it doing that thing again where it's like, hold on.
It's like it's the same song that's looping in the background.
It's on shuffle, which means that's just YouTube once again randomly picking the same song over and over. I'm picking Aerith's theme. I want to listen to Aerith's theme. Anyway.
Let's see. I think you should just take it off of shuffle and just play the playlist.
Anyway, okay. Here, let me actually go back farther. If I'm going to do that, let me go back a little farther. Right about here, I guess should be good. There we go. Okay. All right. So anything else on Soldier?
Okay. Does not look like it.
the down air sweet spot could have the Mantread sound effect play or pop out. What's the effect? Because I wouldn't mind. Yeah, that's not a bad idea actually. Like just the sound effect. Sure. Down air.
Okay. And then Mr. Maniac also asks, do you have an idea of what specific hats for Soldier he would have?
I didn't think too hard about that one. Just I figured it would be one specific to the Soldier. That's about it though. How do you spell Mantreads? Is it? Is it Mantreads like that? Or is there an H somewhere in there? Oh, you know, actually, who said that? Let me credit you. Go back up. It was Gaio. Yeah, but yeah. Something over your name there. Let me see if I can copy that. There we go.
Okay, Mr. Maniac, apparently he made a Google Doc for ideas for hats. Like, do you want me to share that with you?
We'll save that for another time, because again, like, the hats, cosmetic. They don't entirely matter. I just figured it can be hats that, it can be, again, hats specific to Soldier. And then, which
okay.
Quickly before we move on, Jamie game playthrough, like I saw your exact same comment months ago. You don't need to keep repeating it. Anyway, moving on. Okay, Goomba. So what do we got for the Goomba?
The Goomboy.
Goomba should take damage if bounced off by Mario.
I mean,
that's just mean.
It also makes the matchup very one-sided.
Goomba's stage intro should be a random guy just sitting there and he turns into a Goomba because he didn't watch the Super Mario Super Show.
Yeah. It's like, it's like a couple people are now saying that. It's like, should Goomba take damage when he's being footstooled?
Did I not have that? I thought I had that, though. Let me double check. I know something happens to him when he gets footstooled. Yeah, Goomba takes damage and is left vulnerable when footstooled. Yeah, he actually does. You do not want to get footstooled as the Goomba, but that's why I gave him attacks that can help like defy that. Like he literally has an up smash where he wears a spiky helmet, and even before he releases the attack and jumps to attack, like people who touch the helmet get hurt.
Okay.
How long will Goomba be flattened for? Like, not too long, but long enough where it's uncomfortable.
Gamer Guy says Goomba's side special is the shoe, so for Goombet ult, she could use the high-heeled shoe instead.
That's a fun idea. I like that. Who said that? It was...
Gamer Guy.
Gamer Guy. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Gamer Guy. Goombet alt could use high heel shoe for side special. Yeah, that'd be a fun little cosmetic.
Okay. And then Mega Man Andrew asks, how would the attacks with the spike helmet on top work with the hat on the Goombet ult?
She would just grow that. She would just grow the horn on her hat. That's all. Like the actual horn would just show up on her hat, and that's it. Like it wouldn't show like the green hat part. It would just be the horn.
Okay.
And I know some people are bringing up Goombario and Goombella. I think I opted to not have them because again their color. Again, I try to focus more on the color spectrum more than I do the actual references or costumes or the like. and they're all brown. Like, I was able to get away with Goombette for the most part because she has more pink on her. But yeah.
Dulce Dog says he should have a Goomba stack special similar to the slimes.
Let me double check what I had for the specials. I suppose I think this is just another case where I just prefer my ideas more. Like the mini Goombas, the Karibo shoe, the Paragoomba, and the head bonk. I do feel for them. I guess Goomba stacking is more prevalent nowadays, but I do have it included. Like, it is, like, we see it in like victory animations, and it's a part of the final Smash as well. I think a thing is that, like, even if we made it similar to slimes, I think it'd just be awkward.
Daps says, I think the Goomba Tower should be incorporated into its up smash. A bunch of Goombas appear while you're charging, and when you attack, they stack up rapidly. The more you charge, the larger the tower.
I don't know. I'm on and off on that one. I think I just prefer the spike helmet. Call it the personal Paper Mario bias, but I think I just prefer the spike helmet.
Cooper Animates wants to know why the anger for Goomba's down throw. Is it because you grew up with the Goombas thanks to Bowser being your dad?
I gotta love the bit. Anyway.
It's like, when talking about the down throw, how did it feel to be possessed by a demon?
Who said I'm not already possessed by a demon? I make Smash Bros videos for a living.
He's possessed by Alucard.
Oh, jeez. Wrong pipe. Ah. Stay hydrated, but make sure it doesn't go down the wrong pipe.
Oh, God, that's the worst.
My apologies. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Let me go turn the fan on a little higher. Okay. Make a cat Goomba as an alt? I wasn't that... I thought about that one, but I wasn't that in love with that idea. I'm okay.
Rye asks, will the Goomba shoes have different colors with different alts, or are they all going to be green?
Good question, actually. I don't know. I don't see why they couldn't be all different colors. I mean, if we already thought of the idea of making the having Goombette use the high heel, I don't see why they couldn't have different colors. Yeah, Charles, stay hydrated but don't drown. Exactly. Oh boy. The Goomba shoe could have...
I was gonna say, Goombette could have a different side taunt where she gets shocked and runs away, disappearing before coming back.
I mean, it's not that out of the norm for different costumes to have different kinds of taunts. I mean, Byleth is kind of an example of that, but I don't know. I'm on. Yeah, that one. That's another one. I'm kind of just. I have to think about. Someone else brought up how the Goomba shoes could have colors based on the your player, the player order. That could be another idea. We Well, I guess the high heel could still work. It would just have to be a different colored high heel. Yeah, that one totally dependent.
Thank you, Autistic Phantom Otaku, for the $2 donation. And he's, I will write all this down.
Yeah. Well, okay, sorry, maybe not Tommy Pickles. I'm not gonna have a literal baby fight. Sorry, no to that one.
Okay.
Goombrat alt. What did Goombrat look like again? Let me double check that one. Because I know some people brought up the Galoombas as an alt, and I didn't agree with the Galoombas because their body types don't match Goombas, so it wouldn't work. It would not work. Goombrat does have a similar body type though, which is interesting. The head shape's a little weird though, so that might make things a bit awkward. What if Goomba turns into Goom Doom? Who's Goom Doom? Goomba's victory animation should have Mario throw a fireball at the Goomba as it uses the spiky helmet to reflect it as Mario runs away from the fireball. What video game does that come from? Because the most iconic thing I can think of when it comes to Mario dying from a Goomba is missing his jump and then just getting touched by the Goomba. Like
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Let's see. K-Animate suggests, never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, never gonna run around and desert you, never gonna make you cry, never gonna say goodbye, never gonna tell a lie and hurt you. We all know each other. Interesting suggestion for the Goomba. Let me write that one down. Anyway. The Goomba shoe could have super armor underneath to represent how you can't get hit when stopping on Spike. Don't I not already have it do that? Let me double check. Shoe appears around Goomba, and the Goomba can control it in the shoe like Mario does in Mario Bros. 3. You can move left and right with little hops. It's faster than walking, but slower than running. A single jump can be done while in the shoe. Goomba can step on hazardous flooring, land on top of foes with the shoe and deal damage to them. Getting attacked while in the shoe will cause Goomba to lose the shoe. Then he'll have to wait 7 seconds before he can spawn another. Pressing any button aside from the jump button will have Goomba jump out of the shoe, causing it to disappear. If it ejects in the air, the shoe will fall and deal small flinching damage to any foe underneath, and will immediately disappear. Okay.
Celso asks, can Goomba crouch down like Kirby?
Yeah, I mean, all characters crouch. Like, are you asking this does Goomba like scrunch its body up when it crouches?
I think that's what he means. Where it's like Kirby, where he just kind of like squishes himself down into the ground.
I imagine it does. Yeah, more than likely.
Can he ground pound in the shoe like in Super Mario Maker?
Ground pounding in in Mario Maker? Is that something the shoe can do? Because last I checked, the most the shoe really does, like the closest thing to a ground pound the shoe actually has is literally just jumping on people. Like, is it actually a ground pound? Can the shoe do that in Mario Maker? Because I know in Mario Bros. 3 it couldn't do that. But literally, it's like, it can deal damage to people if you just jump on them, effectively. Like, literally, like, if you're falling, and then you land on top of somebody while on the shoe, that will deal damage. Only the big shoe does ground pounds. Okay. Well, no, in this case, no, it can't do that. The most they can do is literally, you just fall on top of somebody. That's it. Which, honestly, no difference. Not that much different, anyway, than a ground pound.
Okay. Anything else for Goomba? Or can we move on to the Eevee?
What if you gave the already colored alts the paper outfits? Like Hyper Goomba could be one of two. That is an alt. Like that's already there. Side and down special commands need to be swapped. That's subjective. I get it. I do. I think this is the case though where Goomba's down special, the head bonk, works closer to Bowser's current down special, his Bowser Bomb ground pound. So that's why I opted for it to be the down special, because then because if it was a side special, then it would have to change how it works in the air. Because I wanted it to be able to have Goomba fall straight down if it's on the ground, or if he's in the air. I mean, sorry. Whereas it's just a jump if he's on the. I'm losing my train of thought here. Which case? Anything else for Goomba?
Thank you, BJ. Anywho, does not look like it. I think for the most part, I think we might have covered everything for covered everything for BJ. Covered everything for Goomba.
Are you saying I'm as lonely as a Goomba? I am seeing Creationary Studios.
I meant to say, is there anything else for Goomba? We covered everything for Goomba.
Creationary Studios did bring up Captain Goomba, because I know that was something that was brought up by a couple people. Captain Goomba would be really awkward because he has that long flag on his head. So that might be really weird. I don't think that would work, Captain Goomba. Maniac, no swearing. Alright, so anything else for Goomba then? Goomba's up smash should have a Koopa fall from the sky as it headbutts it? That sounds forced. Sorry, that one sounds a little forced.
Heavier characters deal more damage to Goomba with the stomp.
If Bowser footstools Goomba just dies.
That's just mean. That is just mean.
It's just the equivalent of Jigglypuff getting her shield broken.
How could I? How could I what? What'd I say? No. Like Hyper Goomba can have the Goombario hat and Goombella. That also sounds kind of forced. Like, if you were gonna have the Goombario and Goombella alts, they would just have to have those colors. Throwing their outfits on different colored Goombas just for the sake of the color spectrum, that's there's no need to do that. That would just be trying to force them in just for the sake of having them, and at that point you're better off just not having them.
Okay. Green Galaxian says, when the Goomba shields, it places a brick block over itself, leaving only its feet visible. This could reference the Pile Driver Micro Goomba.
Pile Driver Micro Goomba. Oh, Micro Goomba? Oh. If it was a normal Goomba thing, then maybe, but I don't know then. Does Goomba die instantly when eaten by Yoshi? I mean, don't they all? Because if you're eaten by Yoshi, you are literally reborn as an egg. So you had to have died and then been reborn. I think everyone dies if they're eaten by Yoshi.
Oh, there's actually an interesting question. Opening in all actually brings out. Oh, what happens if you give Goomba a gun?
It'd be a floating gun.
Because it's like, how can it shoot lasers?
The same way it holds a bat.
Yeah, same way it holds a bat or throws a baseball. If Captain Goomba wouldn't work, how about the Private Goomba? Oh, Private Goompa's a nerd. Yeah, I said it. Private Goompa's a nerd. There's no conviction, that guy. That boy will turn traitor on Bowser in a heartbeat. Anyway, I think it's safe to say that we're done with Goomba.
Yeah, I think at this point we can move on.
Alrighty.
We've been on Goomba long enough.
All right, moving on. Eevee. So Eevee was another fairly complicated one. So does anyone have any criticisms, questions, or the like for Eevee? But getting it out of the way now, yes, Flareon is the best. And for those who try to bring up its body heat, that just means its body heat can only get up that high. It's not always that high. Also, its fur is an insulator, meaning that it's actually just really warm to touch. So, Flareon's the best, confirmed. Most huggable, the best.
A couple people are saying Flareon should be hydrophobic.
Yeah, that does make sense, actually. Yeah, it should. There you go. Yeah, because like all other fire types are hydrophobic, so yeah, Flareon may as well be one too. I can't unsee Sylveon's ribbons thanks to the... they're flesh ribbons! That's exactly what they are! They're feelers! The Pokedex specifically calls them feelers. So that means there have to be nerve endings inside of those. Oh, Santana Boy, thank you for the $1. So there have to be nerve endings inside of them, and which means that they have to be like either flat pieces of skin with only nerves inside of them covered in fur. But then I had some people saying maybe they're just nerves covered in skin or covered in fur. That's even worse! Are you kidding? That's terrifying! Just nerve endings covered in fur? That's terrifying! No!
I will never forget the realization BJ had when he was informed that Umbreon sweats toxic.
Umbreon sweat is toxic? No, thank you. All right. For the Eevee moveset itself, anything about that?
Crystal Shinobi asked, why was Shadow Ball not included?
There was nowhere to put it, honestly. Like, no real good place to put it, anyway.
Rai asks, what if Kirby copies Eevee and maxes out a meter?
He can't. If Kirby copies Eevee, all Kirby gets, actually, is, I think... What did I say? I think Kirby is just defaulted to, Buzzy Buzz. Like, if Kirby copies Eevee specifically, he just uses Buzzy Buzz. Whereas, he gets the neutrals... If he copies a different evolution, he gets one of those evolutions. So pretty much, he gets Buzzy Buzz from copying Eevee and Jolteon, and then just gets the other neutral specials depending on who else he copies.
The Cheese Man says, Eevee's Vaporeon evolution should charge faster when in water or in rain. Hang on. Or hit by water attack. Flareon should charge when hit by fire. Jolteon should charge when hit by an electric attack. Etc.
That's too situational. I'd have to disagree with that. I said that's way too situational. Charo though with the ARS 20, well. That's the set. I will have to do 9 Kirby hats.
Yeah. It's like, we'll get to the Kirby hats in time.
Yeah, I probably will. I think I'll probably only do Eevees though to start off with, and I'll do the other ones at a different point. The Eeveelutions don't wear hats. Well, I mean, neither does Pikachu or Pichu in their games, but they're still given hats for the sake of having costumes. This is just a case where because here's the thing about Eevee, the issue with the color spectrum here with Eevee, because technically there's already a wide color spectrum with all of the Eeveelutions, especially since the base default has such a huge separating colors between all nine forms. So this was a case where they needed headgear. They needed something to help Like they needed different colored headgear for each form that all the forms could wear. So that way, if multiple people are playing as Eevee and maybe end up turning into the same forms, they don't get confused. Yeah, Caleb, I'm aware about the abilities. I get that, but like again, situational. I feel like it's more consistent just to have it the way that I set it up.
If Eevee wins a match without losing a stock victory animation, should be Gigantamax Eevee.
I don't see. I don't know. I don't see why. You didn't see my comments. Thanks for doing Crono. Yeah, well, you're welcome. I'm glad you enjoyed Crono. Anyway.
How fast would Jolteon be?
Well, Jolteon's the fastest out of all of them. Like, to give a comparison, I suppose, like compared to other characters.
Yeah.
Let me pull up the speed charts. Hold on. Let me see. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Run speed list. Let me see. Let's say. Oh wow, Mithra's faster than Fox. Interesting. Let's say Jolteon is in between the speed. Like to make it worth it, you know what? Jolteon's known for its speed. Let's say it's in between Falcon and Little Mac, or at least around the same speed as Falcon. So it's fast. Because that's supposed to be Jolteon's like biggest like thing. It's speed. It's the fastest evolution. It's supposed to be fast.
Okay.
Would Jolteon have a fast falling speed? And if so, how fast? Yeah. Let me go back and pull up the
Wahid Abdullah asks, since Trump card with Eevee's signature move, can it still be a smash attack or rapid jab?
Wait, hold on. What was the question? It was.
Hang on, let me go back up. Since Trump card was Eevee's signature move, can it still be a smash attack or a rapid jab?
No, because I made Trump card the final smash of the Eeveelution specifically. Because Eevee's final smash is Gigantamax Eevee. But the final smashes, they all use Trump card. That's their final smashes.
Okay. Would Glaceon have a little traction because ice? Like, would Glaceon just slide around? I
feel like that'd make it worse. So probably no. I get it, but no. I'm gonna say no to that one.
Is there an evolution that has better throws than the others?
Espeon, because psychic type. Talk to Ness. So yeah, you know what? If we're going to these extremes, why not? Espeon would have as deadly as throws as Ness does. There we go. Because that is kind of the point of the evolutions for the most part. Like, they each kind of have their own extreme in certain factors.
What if Glaceon skated while dashing?
Like Bowser used to do in Brawl? I feel like what would a skating four-legged creature look like? I feel like they'd look really awkward, honestly.
Would Glaceon be able to be frozen?
Yeah. Because again, like,
okay,
typings... Because I think the only time that typings were ever a factor in Smash was back in Brawl, where the Pokemon trainers' Pokemon actually were affected by skill, like, took more damage from skills that they were naturally weak to. Like, Ivysaur did take more damage from fire and all the like. They removed that function for a reason. That's no longer a thing, and I don't think it should be a thing.
Yeah, because it just made some matchups like way too. It put matchups to like way too like in a certain character's favor.
Yeah. Can we get
Maniac wants to know, can we get a huggable tier list?
Sure, sure. So obviously, Flareon is triple S tier. Gigantamax Eevee is the tier below that. Then we have Eevee, which is the tier below that. Then let's see here. Probably, I think after that is probably Espeon, because it'd be boring to hug, sure, and it does apparently have the ability to read your mind when, like through its fur. So that'd be a little uncomfortable, but so long as you don't have any bad thoughts, you should be okay, I guess. So I guess then would be Espeon. I guess Glaceon's next thing, because yeah, it's cold, but I guess on a hot day that wouldn't be too bad. Though I imagine you get uncomfortable and stiff after a bit. Leafeon's probably after that, because who wants to hug a pile of leaves? Why? Then I guess Vaporeon, because it's covered in scales, and that'd be like hugging a fish. That'd be weird. Let's see. Then we get to let's see. Then next is Jolteon. That boy's spiky, so that just hurt. Then we have Umbreon, who sweats toxic, and then at the bottom of that list is Sylveon, because no thank you. Don't let those flesh ribbons anywhere near me.
Oh, fine, I'll take the Sylveon.
Okay, I should clarify something. I actually do like Sylveon. Like there really aren't any evolution that I actively dislike. I like them all. It's just like thinking about what they are. It's just like kind of one of those look, don't touch kind of deals.
Sylveon says trans rights, though. You're right.
Yeah, it does, and it's great. Trans rights. Trans rights are human rights.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm actually mad at you because of a series I barely care about anymore. What series? Pokemon? What?
It's like, aren't the flesh ribbons just tentacles? I don't think
they're feelers. That's what they are.
Sylveon is part jellyfish.
Oh, I tried actually. Yeah, I don't know. Vaporeon's also like I guess Vaporeon's still in the same slot on the tier list, but it's also like Vaporeon can also melt, and then I'm just all wet, and I don't like being wet. Like, it's not bad, but it's like mildly inconvenienced. Jeez. VV Volley should be the final smash. Nah, I think that's fine as just a smash attack, the side smash. It's like I made it. Because when you think of a super powerful move, what do you think of? VV Volley or Eevee turning into the size of a skyscraper and then shooting a laser beam down that makes you fall in love with it. Like, come on.
Okay. Roderick says Sappy Seed should hit if the seed hits opponents.
Oh, you should heal if it hits opponents?
Yeah. Yeah, like like if somebody gets hit with the Sappy Seed, that's health for you.
Yeah, because normally it normally applies Leech Seed in Let's Go. I get it. You know what? Actually, I don't see why not. That could be an aspect, if only because of how the move is designed. Because it's an up special that rises upwards. So if anything, the healing would be an incredibly situational afterthought. So there's really no harm in it being there, because more likely than not, it wouldn't be landing that often. Because it's like, in order to get anything fully out of it, you'd have to try to like use it when you're above people. But that could also put Eevee or Leafeon into a very disadvantageous position. Like they could, because that's effectively them using their recovery right there. Like, Eevee technically does have 2 recoveries. Leafeon only has the 1. But in Eevee's case, though, it's like it can't use Sappy Seed again until it touches the stage. Like, it doesn't go into free fall since Sappy Seed does act as a platform for it to jump off of. Sparkly Swirl is what puts it into free fall. But still, trying to use your recovery, like for the sake of just getting some really minor heals at that, wouldn't be worth it. So I don't see the harm in it being there. It just wouldn't be that useful, honestly.
Okay. You didn't. Apparently, you did not write that Flareon would be hydrophobic.
No, I suppose I should. Is Evo Boost or G-Max? Yeah, both are. G-Max is the final smash if you're Eevee. Evo Boost is what happens if you max out all 8 meters, and that's what lets you power up Eevee and stay playing as Eevee without needing to evolve. But if you do that, you can't evolve.
Dark Meta Knight wants to know how heavy is Umbreon compared to other characters.
The weight. Let me see here, because again, smash weight does not equivalent to actual like cannon weight. It just means survivability. Let me see here. Umbreon does have some of the highest weight out of the evolutions. Let me double check the others. Yeah, yeah. Umbreon is the tankiest. So if I were to put it on the weight scale, let me pull up my thing. Oh, maybe not actually. Well, let's just say it would count. I guess it would count as heavyweights. Probably not super heavyweight, but heavyweight for sure. Because it would be hard to KO. Could Umbreon deal and take more damage versus Galeem and Dark? No, because again, it's situational. There's no need. Do the evolutions get their elemental effects from the final smashes or just for Flare? I guess I don't see why it couldn't just be for Flare, but the trump card final smash is the same across the board. It doesn't really change. Like, even the evolutions that naturally deal more damage than others, like, it deals the same amount of damage and knockback no matter what. Where's the music? You can't hear it? Hold on. It's there. Is it just really quiet? Might just be really quiet is all. Turn it up a smidge. I don't want it to be too loud though, because I have had streams in the past where the music was a little overpowering. When Vaporeon tough water do it. Are you asking if Vaporeon touches water, does it become it? So you're asking if Vaporeon melts into water. Nah. I get it. Yeah, that's something it can do, but I think for this moveset, no. Just for the sake of being able to find it. Oh, last resorts, not trump card. You're right. My mistake. I'm sitting here calling trump card the final smash. No, they're using last resort. My mistake. Yeah, no, trump card just isn't. It just isn't here. I got my wires crossed there. Yeah, thank you for reminding me. My apologies there. Should the up smash be Hyper Voice and the down smash be Iron Tail? I think I prefer Swift, honestly, in this case. Eevee and the evolutions with neck fur should have a neck fur light on fire with spicy curry is active. Okay. Vaporeon should have higher swim speed or take longer to drown. I don't think that's even a case for Squirtle. I think the swim speed and the swim survivability is the same across all characters. So even Squirtle and Greninja last the same amount of time as everybody else. Like, there's just the only difference for swimming is just whether you're hydrophobic or not.
Santana wants to know, when are you going to do the stream about the Monokuma executions?
At some point. I don't know when, though. At some point, I will. Alright, anything else for Eevee, then?
Joel the Parrot says if Umbreon is at a high percentage, they start to sweat toxic and do minor damage, like less than 1, whenever they make contact with the opponent in some way. Also, if they're off stage without double jump.
I feel like that'd be a little broken because Umbreon is the heaviest. So not only making it having it be the hardest to KO on top of it naturally being able to deal damage just from being close to it. That's I don't like that. I personally don't like that idea. That's a little overpowered. Can the Eevee's Lucian's Final Smash be like Mega Man's Final Smash instead of the last? Nah, I don't. I don't like that personally.
Could a reworked VV Volley be Kirby's copy special?
Reworked how? It's just like a tackle. That's all it is. You're kind of lame for Kirby, honestly. How would a dragon type evolution look like? Imagine Vaporeon but with wings. There you go.
Maybe some horns.
All right, we good on Eevee then?
Oh, looks like it.
Give people a second to see what they say. All right, I guess we are good on Eevee. All right, then moving on, Madeline and Madeline. All right. So, any thoughts? Any thoughts on this character?
For Madeline's up taunt, she could do the same pose she does in the Chapter 6 complete card where she puts her hands on her chest.
What did I have for Madeline's taunts? Let me see. I mean, I feel like the deep breathing one kind of already fulfills that role. Yes, that's right. That's right. Madeline is canonically trans. Should work like ice climbers. That was my initial thought, because here's the thing about this character. Originally, my first impressions, I was originally thinking about Madeline being an Echo Fighter, but then when I actually started playing the game, I was so honestly, the ice climber scenario never really crossed my mind, because in order to make them Echo Fighters, you would either need to make Madeline start doing things that she can't do, or to start making Madeline do things that, or to not let Madeline do things that she normally would do. So that's why I opted for effectively the JoJo stand method that I went here, where Madeline has her own set of attacks, but then Madeline can assist and use her own stuff. So literally, it's like making them like the ice climbers would either limit one or get a little too what's the word? I can't think of the word, but literally, it's like, yeah, I just don't think it would work, honestly. Yeah, that was gonna be interesting actually. Yeah, Madeline Kirby. See a Battling Kirby. Yeah, it's gonna have to be actually. That's the funny part. So that'll be fun to
Kirby's
draw.
bad.
I don't think innovative is quite liberal. I think liberal was the word I was going for here. Like it was either being holding back too much for Madeline or being way too liberal with Madeline. Like there are some liberties that I will take for these movesets if I feel they're appropriate, but having Madeline start doing a lot of the stuff that only Madeline can do, that's way too liberal.
Ian Jones says Madeline Kirby should have Battling Kirby be Shadow Kirby from Kirby and the Amazing Mirror.
I think I prefer Kirby with the purple hair.
Purple Kirby.
No, here on Pikachu, it's not a headcanon. Like the creators of Celeste have outright confirmed that Madeline is a trans woman. That is confirmed. It's not a headcanon, it's confirmed.
Like, did they confirm that on Twitter or something?
One of their social media sites, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because that's just one of those things where it's to get that kind of information, was that confirmed in the game or was that something that was stated outside?
Like, there's hints of it in the game. Like, I know, in one of the chapters, you can see, a family portrait on Madeline's desk where it looks, where we see her much younger, but she looks like a little boy.
Okay.
Aside from that, though, yeah, the creators just outright confirmed it.
Okay.
In which case, regarding I've made Mad's intro, her being launched into the stage, spinning around. Okay. Okay, I guess in which case, regarding the moveset itself, was there any other issues? Was there any issues with the moveset? What is this music that it's like? Electroplankton, get out of here! I want to listen to the.
Okay.
I want to it was like this bubbling. It sounded like someone popping bubbles in my ear. Here we go, bath time theme. There we go. Nintendogs bath time theme. Let's go.
Okay. That doesn't sound much better. Yeah, I don't think anybody's really saying anything about Madeline. I think everybody's just gushing over the fact that we got trans representation finally in a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, let alone a decent one. You know, not one that's we're falling back on stereotypes, but actually respectful representation.
Yeah. Her being trans is not a part of the game at all. She just is. That's all.
Yeah, it's a part of the character, but it's not the sole thing about her. There's so much more to her than just that.
Yeah.
Would you?
And again, they treated it very respectfully.
Yeah. Would you be able to wave dash just like in Celeste with the dash? Curious question, actually. I guess it depends on the end lag of the actual dash itself. I suppose it depends. I didn't write down battling Kirby. I don't need to. It's gonna happen eventually.
Madeline should do the Chapter 6 pose when she's taking deep breaths in her uptime.
I mean, it kind of goes without saying. I think we already talked about that earlier.
Yeah. Madeline's back throw should have Madeline do the Wii Fits up throw, but Madeline kicks the foe backwards.
It's awfully specific. I mean, so it's just a drop kick, is what you're saying? Because I have the back throw I have the back throw where it looks like Madeline's about to use the forward throw, but then Madeline appears and just kicks him out of her hand.
Okay. All right, yeah, I think at this point, it's
Yeah.
because now everybody's wondering how you're going to do Madeline Kirby. So it's
All right, so I think we can move on then.
yeah.
Alrighty.
Yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Okay, so quote and Curly from Cave Story. So quote and then Curly being the Echo Fighter. This is another one that shocked me that not a lot of people knew this character because Cave Story is big.
I had the impression that Cave Story was big.
Yeah, this was another shocking one to me, honestly.
Huh.
But yeah, so like for quote, were there anything on quotes? Any questions? Any criticisms? Any ideas? Did I make the thumbnail art for quote? The thumbnail art, no. That's official art. The art that you're actually looking at right now here, technically I did make that, more so traced it. Because there is the only real good official art of Curly and, that she shared with quote. It doesn't look that good. It's honestly, like, I know it's official art, but I didn't like it. So to make it look a little cleaner, I ended up tracing over it and kind of like making the lines a little more pronounced, and then helping the colors out a little bit. So this art you're looking at of Quote and Curly here is traced art from me over the like to replace the original art. 'Cause I just didn't care for the original art. But the art in the thumbnail, no, that's official art. Wasn't it like... Yeah, Cave Story is an old game, but it gets so many ports, like... It has a Switch port. That's what I played it on. But again, I guess like...
Also,
sorry?
GLaDOS is saying also that Christmas game joke.
Mm-hmm.
It's Santa.
Yeah, Santa's in the game.
Yeah, Santa's in the game. He's Santa's helper because he helped Santa once. Also, like for those who don't know, if you play Cave Story when your system's internal clock shows it Christmas time, all of the characters actually do change into a Christmas theme. So it is a Christmas game. It's also a Halloween game.
Okay. Maniac says, real quick, I feel bad for the one guy in the comments who didn't know why you didn't show a pic of the Curly clones.
Yeah, okay, so for those who don't know, the Curly clones are naked. That's why I couldn't show them.
Yeah.
Like, I know she's a robot, but still, I'd rather not show that.
Yeah, don't want to take that chance.
Something wrong with the live chat? What's wrong with the live chat? No,
There's some kind of a weird flickering thing that's going on.
Oh no, that on the white with the where I'm putting the notes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just an OBS thing. Like, cause I have it on windowed mode. Cause here's the thing with my OBS, it's like whenever I do windowed mode so that it only shows one window, even if I click off of it, whenever I click off of it, it does that weird glitchy thing. Like it literally, like it can't handle the processing or something. So that's why usually whenever I want to avoid the flickering, I just use display mode. But then it's forced to show whatever in front, which is, I hate it. But it's the only way to avoid the flickering. For this, I'm not that worried about it because it's just notes, and I'm on the most of the time anyway. But it's whatever.
It's like, yeah, damn you, OBS.
In which case, yeah, so back to quoting Curly. I'm also really glad you didn't do the overused Curly's panties joke. It's smash. I mean, I know I brought up, like, the panties with, like, Apollo for, Trucy, but those don't even look like panties, if we're real here. like those are like granny bloomers or whatever those are.
Granny panties.
Yeah. These giant, like...
Yeah, like, these, like, bloomers, I think they were called, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, quoting Curly. I'm actually, like, low-key kind of proud of that joke. The quoting Curly joke. But I guess, yeah, back to the moveset. Like, were any issues with the moveset itself? Interesting. The quote and curly brace didn't show up in my my alerts. All I see is "and." Oops.
Weird. Okay.
Curly looks like Samus during Halloween. Do you think that I thought of that? I was super tempted, but yeah, like I did opt out of it. I can't remember why I opted out of it, but I know I did. So.
Isn't it ironic that his name is Quote, but he doesn't say anything?
Yeah. He does have some lines. Like I think he says a couple of things. If you play the Curly story. But yeah, he may as well be a mute. Would Quote and Curly have voices, or would they be silent like Mega Man? Good question. I don't know. Like, they do talk, but then again, so does Mega Man. Like, they are given voices in Blade Strangers, but then again, Mega Man was also given a voice in Marvel vs. Capcom. I don't know. You got me on that one. I have no clue. It's
like, just go the path of least resistance.
Like,
no voices.
I think Curly, at the very least, would have a voice, because she is very talkative. So... And I think if they give Curly a voice, they probably would give one to Quote too, but he probably would just be like Link. Just grunts and all that such.
Yeah! Mega Man also spoke in Mega Man 8. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, Mega Man X. Yeah, Mega Man X, Mega Man 8, yeah. I think
Mega Man 11.
This was also a case where yeah, Sakurai made a point where he wanted Mega Man to be as much like the classics as possible, and even though he did have speaking roles, he never had a voice in those classic games. So. Just real quickly, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go use the restroom real quick.
No problemo. Danny, tell us a joke. We went through this last time. I am the joke.
Oh. Now I'm pressed.
It's like, do I just have to start maybe like looking up dad jokes to entertain you people?
Now you gotta find mom jokes.
Danny, tell us about FNAF. Danny, tell us about FNAF lore. Where do I start?
That's a funny joke.
Yeah, snap
What?
floor. That's the joke.
Who are these people that BJ is talking to? We have Danny, who was the host of the Knights episode, and then we have Brian, who was the host of the Klonoa, Spyro, Rayman, and Amaterasu episodes. Anyway, did I miss any other questions regarding Court and Curly?
Nah, no. People wanted me to tell them jokes, and I just said I am the joke.
All right, so I guess there really weren't any issues with Court or Curly.
Does not look like it. Yep, so I think at this point now we move on to who's next? Maxwell?
I guess so.
Alrighty, then Maxwell it is.
Yep, I guess so.
And, okay, all right, and I'm just gonna say for the record, I've never played the games that Maxwell's from. I know what Scribblenauts is. I've never played them. That being said, Sonic for Hire has forever ruined Scribblenauts for me.
Oh, dear.
I can never think of Scribblenauts now without thinking about Sonic for Hire.
Can't say I get the joke. Oh, okay, yeah. Do we want to get this one out of the way real quick? Cthulhu. How it's pronounced?
I've heard
you can't.
I've heard it pronounced multiple ways.
Yeah.
Like, I think technically the lore I think is it's supposed to be unpronounceable. Yeah. But I've heard Cthulhu. I've heard Cthulhu. I've heard that the H is silent, so it's Cthulhu. I've heard it be pronounced so many ways. So at this point, it's just
pick
throw
your
your hands up in the air.
Yeah, pick your favorite. Literally, because because Brian taught me this one. It's literally like Lovecraft made the name to be unpronounceable, to be so alien that if you ever were pronounce it the correct way, you'd go mad. That's the point.
Yeah. So Chipotle.
Yeah, Chipotle. So we're just calling it Chipotle.
Man, that'd be one hell of like a freaking warlock class in D&D? Because there's actually a warlock class where it's like, oh, you actually can call upon the powers of Cthulhu. Call upon the powers of Chipotle.
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, Ray, I think I will do that too. Like, if I ever do another video that involves Cthulhu, I probably will start. I'll do exactly what I did for the BFG for Doomslayer. Just call it something different every time.
Yeah.
Alright, but ignoring that, so Maxwell himself, let's see. Maxwell's neutral B should be him creating a character to attack foes based on the character that he is fighting.
Also, like he can draw clones?
He can do that. Not draw specifically, because for those who don't understand, the power of Maxwell's notebook, how it works is that he writes down the name of anything he wants. And when he does that, the thing that he wrote down comes to life. So, like, if he writes down Ladybug, a ladybug will appear in front of him. If he writes bowling ball, a bowling ball will appear in front of him. If he writes Batman, Batman will appear in front of him. Like, that's how it works. But on top of that, he can also add adjectives to things. So, like, if Batman's sitting there in front of him, he could literally write Happy Batman, and then suddenly Batman will be happy. And then he can take away, and then he can erase happy and put down sad Batman, and then Batman will be sad.
Yeah, it's like he's writing Happy Batman. My parents are alive. Sad Batman. My parents are dead.
Oof. But as for the idea of his neutral special being like effectively a minion summon, I suppose that could have been an option. I think I just like the weapon a little more.
What if one of Maxwell's victories, a Scribblenauts style Mario, is summoned to recreate one of Mario's victories?
It'd look really awkward. Because this is the common question that I get from Maxwell. People ask me, would Maxwell be 2D or 3D? Because that's an interesting question. Because all of Maxwell's games incorporate him as this kind of almost like this 2D puppet. but then cutscenes show him in 3D. So I think the best way to describe how Maxwell would look is that he would be a 3D character, but he'd have 2D movements. Like 2D puppet movements, almost like that. That's probably the best way to describe how he'd look. But his drawings specifically, I think those would be 2D. See, it'd be, or maybe they would be 3D. It'd be really weird. Like, honestly, it'd be weird. Like, I think the best way to describe how Maxwell would work, go back to Kirby Star Allies and remember Adeline. Adeline and Ribbon, because Adeline had the ability to paint whatever she wanted, and for that painting to come to life. And she did, whatever she painted was in 2D, and she could even ride some of those 2D things. So I think that would be kind of how it would work here.
What if one of Maxwell's taunts was summoning the opponent as a clone and making them do a taunt?
That'd be funny, actually. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, that's Joel the parrot. That was his suggestion. Was like, yeah, Maxwell like drawing up the opponent, and the clone does one of the opponent taunts.
Shoves backpack over opponent's head to grab them instead of the fishing rod. I think I opted for the fishing rod because the fishing rod can actually be used to grab things, including other people in Scribblenauts. Like, I don't think I've ever heard of him using a backpack to do that kind of thing. And also, to everyone asking why I didn't include things like Batman or Superman, why don't you ask yourselves that question?
If not Batman, and if not yourselves, ask Warner Brothers.
ask the copyright ninjas.
Ninjas.
Can you do the assist trophy glitch? No, because the assist trophy glitch only worked with Isabelle because her fishing rod was her side special. Maxwell's is his grab, so it wouldn't work the same.
Yeah, it just looks like everybody, they're just throwing down adjectives for Batman. That's literally what it is.
Up there should be a giant. Up there should be a giant toaster. Oh, see, okay, so that's actually the interesting thing though about Scribble, because I believe I made a point about this in the Maxwell video. It's like Scribblenauts is such an expansive game. Like there are so many like possible solutions to every outcome. So literally the ideas that I presented in this moveset were just ideas that I gave specifically. That doesn't but literally anything else could have worked for them because again, Maxwell is so expansive. Like they could have been anything. But because of how for the most part complicated I was already making his special attacks, because to bring out that expansiveness, it needed to be limited in some way. So unfortunately, this was a case where not everything was going to be able to make it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think anybody has anything to add for Maxwell.
Yeah, Maxwell's moveset possibilities. Ah, yes. Brings out dictionary. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. If it's in the dictionary, Maxwell can do it.
And again, this is where Sonic for Hire ruins it for me, because it's like, what do you do?
That is how powerful this notebook is, people. I'm telling you, this notebook is powerful. It is ridiculous how strong it is.
I know. But like I said, this is also where Sonic for Hire has ruined Scribblenauts for me, because you could just write happiness in the notebook, and it's just, wow, that is a lot of crack and porno.
Like,
That's where it's just... That's where that's ruined it for me.
I guess I should also mention as well, like since some people were kind of confused about this one. The hand that was writing the words in this notebook for the video, that wasn't my hand. That was actually my sister's hand, because my handwriting is terrible. So I wanted to make sure that it was legible, and she has really good handwriting, so I asked her to do it. Because if you look at, you probably can't see it from this angle, but I have a really hairy Italian arm, so it's like that's everyone kept asking, why does your arm look so girly? Because it's not my arm, it's my sister's arm. It's like, all right. So I guess we're good on Scribble on Maxwell then.
Looks like it. So we can move on to Ori.
Yep, the final character.
My boy.
Ori. Okay, so I kept seeing someone asking why I called people dweebs at the end of the Ori video. Could someone remind me what the context of that was?
It's because of people leaving comments before actually watching the video.
Yeah, that's right. If you leave a comment before finishing the video, you're a dweeb.
we're looking at you, Asriel requesters.
People requesting for Asriel on the Flowey video. Like,
you dweebs.
It's like that it is a small little pet peeve of mine where somebody asks me a question or requests for something when they could have easily finished the video and their answer could have been questioned. Their question could have been, yes, their answer could have been questioned that way. No, their question could have been answered if they just finished the video. Or yeah, like they're requesting for something that was already in the video. So yeah, like it's a small little pet peeve of mine. All I ask is that, like, I can understand if you lose interest in a video and want to stop watching it. I do that same thing all the time. Like sometimes I'll start watching a video, but then I lose interest and leave. I don't leave a comment before finishing the video though. Like if I ever want to leave a YouTube comment, I always want to make sure I finish the video first. So if you don't want to finish the video, that's fine, but don't leave a comment before leaving. It's like, if you want to leave a comment, finish the video first, please. I beg of you. I beseech you.
Another thing I know that was very commonly brought up in the Ori video was the whole, he's in Rivals of Aether.
Yeah, and I didn't look at that. I brought that up in the video, which again, people commented on, like, because even though I brought up in the video that I was aware of his existence in Rivals of Aether, I just didn't look at it because I wanted to look at his games only. People were like, he's in Rivals of Aether, right? It's like, you could have watched the video, right? Like,
yeah. Well, the other thing I also want to bring up too is that we also need to remember when Ori was added into Rivals of Aether, and I believe it was around 2016. The only game that they had to pull reference from was Blind Forest, because that came out in 2015. Come 2020, we have Will of the Wisps, where he's given so many other things to work with, which is primarily what the moveset this episode is based off of.
Yeah, like for the most part, there were some elements from Blind Forest, but for the most part, majority of the moveset came from Will of the Wisp.
Be glad that he nerfed his stomp hitbox.
Seriously.
For those who've seen the Blind Forest LP on SNG, you know how much we meme about that.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, I've still never played Ori and the Blind Forest. I'd like to give it a try, even though I'm terrible with those types of games. But just from watching your Let's Play that you did on our channel, Brian, it's like, I'd willing to give it a shot. But even in Blind Forest alone, Ori had a lot of options on his hand. He had more than enough to be able to do a moveset, like just from Blind Forest alone.
Yeah.
So Will Wisp, can't wait to see what kind of crazy shit he does in that game.
Anyway, I actually got to get going at the moment because my mom wants me to pick up dinner.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
In which case, wait, what is Ori based on? He's I don't think he's supposed to be based on any like in particular creature. He's just like he's a wisp. He's a spirit effectively.
Yeah.
So he kind of just has generic animal features. He's not supposed to be any one animal. Of course, Brian leaves while we're on Ori. Yeah, yeah. But, like, okay, in which case, anything about Ori, though? Any issues? Any questions?
Ori is a vegetable. Ori is Stitch. I didn't know Ori was related to Rayman. It's like again, it doesn't look like anyone really has anything to say.
Boo? What do you mean, boo? What are you booing? Actually, no, Laszlo. I still haven't looked at the Rivals of Aether moveset. I still don't know what he does. I still do not know. I still have not yet looked at Rivals of Aether. I know technically I could, because I believe I have covered all the guest characters from that game. So at this point, the only characters from that game are characters original to it. I still just haven't looked at it, though.
Sintan Boyd says, Ori's neutral special could have him make a scene stick onto a foe, and scene will explode.
Well, that's the thing. I already brought up in the moveset, scene isn't in the moves, like, it just isn't here. Because, spoiler warnings, I guess, for those who haven't played Blind Forest yet, by the end of Blind Forest, scene is gone. Like she returns to the life tree or whatever it was. Like, so like, cause yeah, the spirit tree. That's right. Cause here's the thing, Danny. It's kind of a spoiler, but not really. Cause I know you're about to watch those Raws with Brian pretty soon. In Will of the Wisp, scene is not present at all. Scene is not there.
Okay.
So that's why I opted to not have Scene be included at all in this moveset, because Scene by Will of the Wisp is just gone.
Gotcha.
Well, if you have your own ideas, GLaDOS, again, if you have your own ideas, feel free to share them. I'd love to hear them. Then Ori's Final Smash turns him into the tree. I'm not going to say anything, actually, for the sake of avoiding spoilers for Danny. Kai Sneed, to answer your question real quick, I didn't want to have the Market Gardener. I just opted not to have it. I just chose not to. Okay.
All right, it looks like nobody's really has anything to add.
Yeah,
for Ori.
I guess not. Yeah, so like, yeah, these last few were pretty quiet. Like, not a lot of people have much to say about them.
It's like, it's either they don't have much to say because you did a solid job on the moveset, or they haven't played the game, so they can't really think of anything to add or correct.
Yeah. All right, in that case, we put this on the automatic. So, if you guys have any other questions about any other prior movesets, again, prior movesets, so if you have questions about, I guess, Master Chief and past that, save them, because we're not going to talk about those just yet. So if you have anything for Ori prior, so literally movesets 1 to 80, you can ask about those. Or if you just have questions in general, feel free. And of course, if you still have requests, Danny's helping to take those down as well.
Mm-hmm.
Why is she on an ult for Roxas? Because they're the same person, effectively. Like, they literally do a lot of the same things, so there's really no reason for her not to be one. What is the longest request list you've ever, like, the longest request? Like, you mean, like, which character has the most requests? Currently, Jubba.
No,
Or
I think it's just a matter of the longest request list that I've had to type out for you. And I honestly don't remember because usually they end up long.
Yeah. How does Springjaw work with Kamikaze and number 9? It probably just armor through them, honestly. Like it, because I brought this up before for Springdrap's neutral special. The amount of damage dealt to it doesn't matter. It just needs to get hit 10 times. It doesn't matter what attack hits it. So give me 1 second. I hear my sister's cat crying outside.
Okay. Amy, when you're doing 91 through 100, will you go through all the characters? No, it'll just be like what we're doing here. We're just gonna be covering the 10.
Yeah. Why does Jibanyan not have an up tilt? Because I forgot about it. That's literally it. Like, I forgot. I had it written down. Somehow I forgot to put it in the script, and then it ended up not in the video. I put that. We talked about that in the very first mistake stream and video, and it's also listed in a pinned comment, so it's there. It's literally just I forgot about it.
Murray wants to see the cat.
Rusty doesn't like getting picked up, though. Plus, now he's hiding in the closet, so, yeah.
I could have sworn it was Papyrus and Sans who had the most requests according to their intro. At that time, they were.
Yeah, at the
not
time.
Anymore.
Yeah, because
not anymore. Far from it now.
Remember for the most part, the request counts kind of build as time passes and as the bigger this channel gets. So it's like what might seem like a lot back then is minuscule compared to now. I can't pick up the camera because the camera is my laptop. It's all hooked into things. I can't pick it up. Sorry.
No, I think they're saying pick up the cat anyway. I think that's what they're saying. They're like, just get the cat.
Alright, hold on. Give me 1 second. Come here, Rusty.
Oh, nothing but good things can happen.
There's my sister's cat.
No.
His name is Rusty. And he is really uncomfortable right now, I can already tell.
Aww. There you go. There we go. So, cat made an appearance.
For Magalore, his up special is kind of gimmicky. I mean, most things are gimmicky in Smash, but let me double check Magalore's for what it was. Oh, just the dimensional portal thing? Okay. I mean, yeah, sure, it's gimmicky. Okay. Does that make it bad? I don't think it does.
People are now requesting Rusty for Smash.
You already got Incineroar. Doesn't that count? Just play as Orange Incineroar. Will I do?
It's like if a request list is too long, do you block them?
No, I just keep adding to it. Then will I do different versions? Will I do different versions of characters like Mario and Luigi if it gets enough requests? Like I know I'm already doing the nitpick video, but you're asking. I know you're asking specifically for like a whole new moveset, like specifically for something else from like other games, if it gets enough requests. Can I say that hint for the next Smash movesets again? Yeah, sure. I can give the hint again. Real quickly. The hint for episode 89 was that before the making of this moveset in particular, I was aware of the character but never played any of their games. But after playing all 4 of their good games, I'm now a big fan. And that's all I'll say to that. That's the hint for episode 89. You have a moveset for the night from Holland? Yeah, sure. Go, if you want to share, be my guest. Probably not in the live chat though. I'd probably share it like either in the comments or like on Twitter or the like. With a Rob situation?
Yeah, I was just about to say, would Rob situations be viable? Like, starts off as a toy, but eventually gets a game or appears in a game down the line?
Yeah. Like, if the toy in question was a video game application to begin with, that'll make it easier. But otherwise, I'll just treat it like non-video game characters.
Yeah, so I would say, like, you know, if you're doing, like, what is it, like a character from Skylanders or something would probably be fair game.
Yeah. I heard something about a Monokuma execution stream. Is that eventually I would like to do that. I don't know when though. Kirby and Dedede should take damage when inhaling Springtrap. Semantics. Nah, no reason to. Can King Boo go through walls? If so, that would he can't. No, that would be busted. Episode 83 will be posted on April 30th. Let me see. Because things are a little messed up because I had to bring my laptop in for a repair. But let me double check.
Dark J Strike. Do anime characters that appear in multiple games count like JoJo characters? Yes, that's fair game. Yeah, again, the rule for non-game characters, like BJ doesn't mind covering them, but the bulk of the movesets that he creates need to come from games.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like Goku and SpongeBob were no problems because there's tons of Dragon Ball and SpongeBob games. So like JoJo, there's plenty of JoJo fighting games to go around. So JoJo would be fair game. You know, I think BJ said the one caveat he would prefer if it's for something that's finished. Yeah. So something like My Hero Academia, because we both know that, you know, characters like All Might and Deku have gotten a lot of requests, but BJ wants to wait to see where the series is going, and once it's done before he sets anything in stone.
Yeah.
You know, and that's like, you know, like for JoJo, for example, like I would probably say, like, you know, because again, like BJ does not stay on top of JoJo, but I do. So parts 1 through 7 are fair game because those stories are done and they've gotten proper gaming representation. Part 8 right now, it's like, yes, technically there have been games that have included stuff from JoJolion, but JoJolion is still being written, and there's still stuff that, for all we know, could be done. So it's like, I know people have been requesting, like, the main character from JoJolion, and I mean, it's like, you know, yeah, you can still request them. Don't expect them to show up anytime soon because Araki's still writing the part. Let alone, even when Araki is done writing the part, who knows when's gonna be the next time that, we'll get another JoJo game.
In which case, regarding to when the next episode will come out, so originally April 30th was supposed to be when episode 89 was supposed to come out, because that would be the end of the 3-week break. But because I lost 9 days from my laptop being being repaired, I wasn't able to spend that time working as much as I did, as well as streaming. So I think I am going to go ahead and push this 3-week break into a 4-week break, because technically one of those weeks plus 2 days I wasn't able to get anything done, unfortunately. So yeah, so the next episode, let me get the calendar back up, will be going up. So yeah, I unfortunately, I apologize that it's going to take a little longer than it should have before, but the next episode will go up on May 7th. That'll be when episode 89 goes up, assuming nothing else bad happens. Assuming no more wrenches decide to be flown into my plans. All right. All right. In which case, is there anything else that you guys would like to know about prior movesets or the like, that you wanted to talk about, or anything like that? Because if not, we'll probably we're probably close to calling it a stream.
Oh, did Brian come back?
I did.
Hey.
Yay!
Yeah, I take it. The stream's wrapped up.
Just
we're about
almost. Like I'm just seeing if anyone has any like last questions before we do wrap it up.
Why doesn't Ori stomp reflect projectiles?
Because I wanted him to be to be somewhat balanced.
The sad thing is, like, Ori stop reflecting in Blind Force has no practicality, but it's so stupid that that's just a thing.
Okay, so FNAF lore. Danny should do another episode. I've got ideas. It's just a matter of finding the time to, really finalize stuff with DJ and finding time for him to fit something into his schedule.
Yeah.
The TF2 mercs should yell "dominated" when they take a stock without taking damage.
That'd be funny.
Yeah.
Alright, I guess in which case, you sent me the Hollow Knight message in Discord? Was it in my server, or did you send a private message? Because if you sent a private message, then I'm not gonna get it. Because I can't get private messages from people that aren't on my friends lists, and I don't want. And I apologize. I don't want to just take friend requests. Like, I literally only want friend requests from those who I actually consider like really close friends. So if you I would say send it either Twitter, or you can post it like on YouTube, like in a YouTube comment. Either that, or if you're in my Discord server, like my public Discord server, which you can get into by becoming a channel sponsor, you can send it through there. Okay. But I guess in which case then, Danny, do you want to wrap up by listing out all the requests that you were written down during the stream?
That I can. Alrighty, so I have seen requests for Monica from Doki Doki Literature Club, Miss Pac-Man, Kratos, Baldy, Jetman from Jetpack, The Imposter, Beatrix LeBeau, The Breath of the Wild Guardian, Hammerbro, The Kalos Trainer, Execute, Asura from Asura's Wrath, Oliver from Nino Kuni, The Friday Night Funkin' Boyfriend, Deadpool, Raiden from Metal Gear, Senator Armstrong, Urban Champion, Android 21, The Right Hand Man, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Deku, All Might, Morshu, Glass Joe, Vector Man, Big Daddy, Cole from Ninjago, Kaka from Jump Force? I don't know Jump Force. I don't play crap. Spy from Team Fortress 2, Mega Man X, Chell, Black Mage from Final Fantasy, Decidueye, Sackboy, Engineer from Team Fortress 2, Maribeth from Neverwinter Nights, Tingle, Impa, Zero from Mega Man X, Fawful, Terra from Final Fantasy VI, the Scout from TF2, Susie from Kirby Robobot, Dirk the Daring, Misty, Garfield, Magic Koopa, Eva from Nino Kuni 2, Robloxian, Jack and Daxter, Atlas and Peabody from Portal 2, Nugget from Kindergarten, Gordon Freeman, Mr. Peterson from Hello Neighbor, Sam and Max, Toadette, Greymon, Drybones, Batman, and the Rabbids.
Alrighty. So if you didn't hear your character requested in Danny's list, go ahead and leave them in the comments below of either this video or I guess any video really. I'll be able to see them eventually. In that case, thank you all so much for joining. I thank you all so much for the feedback. And next time we meet, so like I said, episode 89 won't be going up until May 7th. I needed to push it back a week since I had to get my laptop prepared. So this next coming week will be more streams. So, and next time, I guess I'll just be streaming whatever I feel like streaming next time. All right. With that said, thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Take care.